It is Tuesday. What a day. What a night yesterday. Game 7 in hockey. Wemby just doing Wemby things. Christian Johnson on the board today. Colton Little, C45 with us as well. We got you for 3 hours today. Bill King will be with us in the third hour. We'll get Clay Henry with us like we always do for 2 hours from 12 to 2.
Alyssa as well.
Oh, we got Alyssa Orange as well. Thank you, Colton. And then we'll have
and you find folks. About. Yeah, you find folks as well. Join us, call us, text us.
877-377-6963. And, man, what a game. Let's start with if y'all guys want to talk hockey, we'll talk it. I didn't watch it, but it was amazing.
Single play.
But let's start with what I watched. Did you guys watch this game? And, oh, my goodness, what'd you think?
Man, when it came down to about 3 or so minutes left in the fourth quarter, I had just gotten home. I was over at my parents' place. They were watching my son for a little while yesterday, and we were able to get home in just enough time, put him to bed, turn it on. 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and it was a pretty tight ball game. You saw the Spurs jump out to an early lead when the game first started. Thunder came back to tie it up. The energy in the building over there was fantastic, but it was a back-and-forth battle the rest of the game until it got down towards the end of the game, and then you started to see the Stars take over. Matt, one of the guys that you mentioned yesterday, the kid from Rutgers, Harper, was in there in place of an injured De'Aaron Fox, and the Thunder had a really hard time guarding him. But one player that we failed to mention at all yesterday, who other than Wemby, who had a game of all games, might have been the most important player on the court for the Thunder, was Alex Caruso. He had a fantastic night, and not only was he responsible for a lot of the offensive output for the Thunder, he also had the task of occasionally having to go one-on-one and guard Victor Wembanyama. So that was impressive to see, too. Well, I think that they were trying to get up under him a little bit, maybe make things a little bit more difficult, sort of annoying for him.
Can do.
And that's exactly what happened, Big C. There was nothing that you could do because he finished with 41 and 24. I don't even know how many stocks he had, probably 3 apiece, steals and blocks. So long, so good. But Matt Jones, at the end of the day, that's exactly what won the game for the San Antonio Spurs, is there's nobody on the planet that can do what Victor did. The Spurs have had the Thunder's number all year long, and now you start off down one game in the series at home. You lost on your home court. Not quite so much confidence as what we've heard from Thunder fans throughout the race, throughout the first part of this playoffs when they didn't stumble one bit.
Man, it was so fun just to watch those guys run up and down the court. They kind of took Chet Holmgren out of his game.
Yeah.
Chet, however you say it. The one thing that set a record, though, that he was tied, Dylan Harper, the guy you were talking about that we talked about yesterday that can't play like a rookie. The Spurs record for steals in a game, in a playoff game, was 6 by Hall of Famer Kawhi Leonard. He will be a Hall of Famer,
Absolutely.
No question about it. Dylan Harper had 7 steals. I loved it. Both teams were playing defense. Both teams were getting deflections. Both teams wanted it. Both teams were, they left it out there. Caruso, what you talking about? Such a veteran, savvy, crafty type of player. Isaiah Joe, 0 minutes. You were kind of pulling for him to get a little bit. They threw Jalen Williams in a little bit. Couldn't do much. But you got to put a body. So what you're doing, Unit, when you ask why are you putting Caruso on Wemby, because it seems futile.
He's hard to move, kind of.
The thing is, Caruso's crafty. You got to get up underneath him, and so you're trying to take that away. And here's what you're doing too. You're not just ever guarding him with one guy. You're going to send somebody else. So it's just somebody. It's like a little gnat. And yes, you're right. Can Caruso guard Wemby? No. But he's trying to shift him and make him go where the help is. So it's kind of a team defensive concept there. I thought Shea kind of did his thing. He was a little cold at times, it seemed like. But Stephen Castle, who I've loved that dude since UConn when he was a true freshman on that national championship team, just an absolute baller playing the point guard right there, man. I think he's a little underrated. But, hey, we got a series. You know what they say? This is the old Doc Rivers quote. The series doesn't start until a road team wins a game in the playoffs. That's when the series starts. Series has started.
And the thing is, with San Antonio and with Oklahoma, like you said, the series has now finally started. You got to get that first game underway. What can you do, Matt? I mean, there's literally nothing you can do whenever the game is on the line. You have a guy that's 7'5", and he pulls up from the 28 feet out and does something like this.
He's going to pull a deep three. Oh, Oh my goodness. A logo shot. 28-footer. Slicing at 108.
28-footer for a guy that's 7'5". That's a creative player thing that you do in NBA 2K. That's what you do when you first log on to the game. You make some guy that's 7'6" and shoots threes and does everything right. That's what Victor Wembanyama is.
That's what Dirk used to be.
And
right?
you're exactly right. But
He's taller, bigger than Dirk.
Taller than Dirk. What I'm wondering is if will the Thunder have any answer for this at all throughout the entirety of the season?
So here's the thing.
Chet
So what
Holmgren, maybe?
do what?
Like, do you put Chet Holmgren on him?
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, here, okay, exactly. Yeah, you mix it up. That's what I was getting to. So we just saw this a little bit with a little bit of a different player a couple years ago with the Joker from Denver, but he's the tall guy that he's tough to match up with because one, he has ball skills. Two, he has court awareness and vision. Three, he's a high basketball IQ player.
Mm-hmm.
Those are tough because when you get 7-footers, a lot of times, man, they can block shots. They really can't dribble. They really can't shoot. They really can't catch. So he's an anomaly in that aspect. What you have to do, Unit, is you have to bring him different looks. He's like a quarterback. So when a quarterback gets up to the line of scrimmage, it's a numbers game because there's 11 guys on the field. So there's always odd and there's always more. There's always a strong side and a weak side. Is what I'm getting at. So when he's looking at the court, he sees, and that's why the NBA is so much different than college basketball. Spacing matters because every single player on the floor can shoot an open jump shot. So you space it out. So when he can see the ball, you saw what the Celtics did with Kristaps Porzingis when they won the championship. They went free throw line extended. They got him the ball. They let him turn around, and then they let him make the decisions. Whatever you do on the defensive side is wrong. If you come here, I can go here, and then I can pass it to my guy there. If you don't move at all, I'm going to take Caruso. I'm going to take whoever you put on me one-on-one every single time. It's a tough matchup, and here's what I would say you have to do. Whenever he gets the ball right there, you have to double team him at different rates. Some you have to come on first dribble. Some you got to go right away because what I would say this, and I don't know what you guys think. I'll see if you all agree with me. You can't let Wemby beat you.
No.
I'm fine. Hey, if we get beat, it's going to be because of somebody else. But we got to bring somebody. We got to shoot guys. We got to flash guys. We can't let Wemby have 41 points.
Well, you mentioned that spacing right there, Matt Jones, and one of the things that I've just kind of noticed, and maybe I've sort of tried to, compare between the two is the last time that we saw the Spurs in this position where they were a formidable force in the NBA. It was obviously when you talked about Kawhi Leonard earlier. Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. And you mentioned that spacing. That's one of the things that the Spurs were just absolutely, to use a young person's phrase, they were goated at. I saw a little bit of that last night because of the fact that you have Stephon Castle, who's able to really read defenses very well, too.
He's still good,
and he's still very young. But I just want to know if my eyes were tricking me in that way, but I still see some of that same Spurs stuff they've always done with Popovich and everybody in company for a long time of really, truly slowing the game down at times and letting their best players make all the plays like Victor did.
The coolest thing about the Pop Spurs regime when they won those championships, and this is something, you can go back and look it up if you don't believe me. They had about 7 years in a row where nobody led them in scoring in back-to-back years. Mm-hmm. Either Tony Parker led him in scoring, either Manu Ginobili led him in scoring, either Tim Duncan led him in scoring. So each year it was somebody different, almost like reinventing yourself. Like it was so cool how they
big three right there.
Yeah,
absolutely,
a true big three.
But if you're the Thunder in this position and you have you have
fine.
a lot of
Don't
depth,
panic.
yeah,
panic.
Wouldn't panic. You have a lot of depth still, and a lot of those pieces that you have on your bench that are supposed to come off the bench and be fire starters for you. They really didn't contribute last night in a way that they have done throughout this playoff season so far. So that's one thing you can maybe hang your hat on if you're an Oklahoma City fan. Is look, the depth pieces that you have, like you said, Isaiah Joe, who's obviously a favorite here on these airwaves.
Well,
he didn't have any minutes.
Not going to score 30 points in the entire series.
No,
that was his one. That was his chance.
So you'll have other guys that'll be able to step up and come off. I know that the guy that's their second leading scorer, Mitchell, he didn't have the best night either for Oklahoma City, and so you're just now getting J-Dub, Jalen Williams from Gonzaga.
He looked a little rusty, right? But you could tell he's going to be okay. He was a little rusty.
So
at times.
They're still getting kind of back into form a little ways, and let's be honest, they've not had to sweat at all this entire playoffs. So eventually, whenever you get a team that comes in here that has that very defined offensive attack, as well as just a one-of-one unicorn type player in Victor Wembanyama, obviously the hairs on the back of your neck are going to stand up a little bit. You're going to be more on guard, and obviously you'll take things a little bit lighter and a little bit heavier if you get a loss as well. But the problem is if you go down 2-0 in the series and you lose both of those first 2 games at home, that is a hard hole to climb back out of.
Well, it was so much fun.
It was a fun game. My wife was sitting there watching with me, Matt, and she was like, that guy is really good, talking about Wembanyama. And I'm like, yeah, there is nobody better than him.
Well,
and
here's
she was
what
locked
I
in the whole game.
Today, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I heard this today. Shohei Ohtani is this generation's Babe Ruth, right? Like, we ain't seen anybody. Everybody still talks about Shohei Ohtani's Victor Wembanyama. There we go. I'll say his name. I just call him Wemby.
Wemby.
He's Lou Alcindor. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar we're looking at. Like, he's unstable. There's nothing like. So our generation, the generation, I guess it'd be like 7 generations ago that had Babe Ruth. I joke, but that's the kids. He's making an impact. Kids are watching Wemby play right now, and they're just like, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm an adult watching this dude play, and I'm like, I've never seen. When you hear the announcers, just like they just kind of gasp. They just have like if there were to be a camera on them, their mouth would just be open. You know, it's like, what is going on? Like, who is this alien out there? What a joy to watch.
So, love it. He's unbelievable, folks. He's unbelievable.
Like you said, Matt, he's absolutely unbelievable. And just to watch him is going to be a complete thrill throughout the rest of these playoffs. So it should be fun.
He is definitely a Rick Schaefer, and we'll always love that. And, hey, if you guys want to get in with us, we're going to have a fun time today. Again, we got Alyssa Orange coming up. We got Clay Henry coming up. We got Bill King coming up. We got the callers coming up. We got everything, man. It's going to be a fun show today. 877-377-6963. Feel free to chat with us. Get in with us whenever you want to. And we're going to go to a commercial, pay some bills, and we'll be back right after this.
The Razorbacks are on the road to Hoover for the SEC tournament.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 sense with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo Dusted Crispy Chicken Nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they love the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Your questions you haven't found our lives. You always ask what it's all about. So listen to my replies. You say to me I don't talk enough, but when I do I'm a fool. These times I've spent I've realized it's true through and lead you the things.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
You remember in the other guys when Terry and Allen they're trying to build a case against David Ershon for all those illegal scaffolding permits, and he's trying to distract them with tickets to either gentlemen you have a choice, Jersey Boys or Mamma Mia. He sent them to a Knicks game too, and it cuts to Allen on the big screen up there at Madison Square Garden saying, "I've got Knicks fever," and it's catching. I can relate to that. I've got Knicks fever, and it's catching, Matt Jones. They take on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1 on 7 p.m., regular ESPN, so you don't need a subscription to, the boxes with the smiles on them to be able to watch this game. It's on regular linear television. And, Matt Jones, what I'm wondering first and foremost, is there anybody on the New York Knicks or Cavaliers roster that have a Caruso-type night, where you don't really expect them to come out and score 30 points and have such a big impact on the game, but they end up being one of the biggest facets of the game overall? Anybody that comes to mind that you think could be able to do that tonight, outside of your typical stars in Mitchell and Harden for the Cavs and Cat and Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks?
Man, I'm sure there is. When you start looking to see who's healthy, what do they got going on? You think of Josh Hart always when you think of a glue guy that at any time he could have a chance if you leave him open.
Max Strus for the Cavs.
Yeah,
he can fill it up a little bit.
He feels like maybe he's on that Hedo Turkoglu Winstraw. Like he might be like, you don't shoot good when you're doing steroids.
No,
so but yes, I know what you're saying. The guy that's an absolute beast, honestly, is Mikal Bridges.
Yes,
that dude can do it if he's feeling it that day. Man, he can do what he wants to. Yeah, I could see what you're saying on Max Strus. If he's wide open, spot up because people are driving and kicking. He's not really going to create on his own. I don't think James Harden's going to have a game where he only has 9 points.
Yeah, for me right now, I think that if I had to choose somebody that would have a Caruso type game like we saw last night from the veteran for Oklahoma City tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals, for me it'd be a guy we talked a little bit about yesterday, one of the Jedis, OG Anunoby. He would have.
Is he healthy now?
See, I think that he is healthy a little bit and
I'm
coming
a fan
back
of his.
and coming back.
I like that
he's a
dude.
very strong, athletic
Yes.
player that's able to finish
Plays
at the rim as
defense,
well. That could be
smart.
somebody. Yeah, that could be somebody that I think ends up having a good game for the Cavs and the Knicks. But we talked a little bit about it yesterday with the conference finals. Obviously, things may have shifted a little bit after last night. Not too much. Like Matt Jones said, if you're a Thunder fan out there, there's no need to really panic.
Yeah.
But obviously, things may have gone a little bit different than we thought with the Thunder playing at home. So now I'm wondering if anything tonight is also going to shift our focus or make us maybe feel potentially like that it's going to end up being maybe an underdog type finals with what would be the Cavs and the Spurs in some way. But they had to play these games obviously first tonight, the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Obviously, we'll have the baseball games and everything going on the rest of the week. It is SEC tournament time now in baseball. We'll talk a little bit more about baseball and softball with Alyssa and Clay as they come on here throughout the show. Later on here, we'll have Alyssa up next, and obviously Clay from 12 o'clock noon until we finish out the show and hand it over to Ruskin and Zach. But, man, this NBA stuff is just exciting to watch. I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
You talk about matchups. You talk about players, Colton. This is where I don't know how many times they're going to guard each other, but here's how I think the series will go. For the New York Knicks, it's Karl Anthony Towns. Because I think you know what you're going to get out of Brunson. I think Brunson's going to do his thing.
Going to get his
Josh
buckets.
Hart's going to do his thing. I think is Karl Anthony Towns a no-show in a couple games, or is he there? And then for the Cavs, it's Evan Mobley. So because I feel like Harden's okay. I think Donovan Mitchell, Spida, which we can get into the all nickname team later if you want to.
He's up there.
I think he's the best player on the floor. Not worried about him, but I think it comes down to what does Evan Mobley do and what does Karl Anthony Towns. That's kind of the matchup to say who's going to win this series. Well, which one of those guys has a better series?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially when you have a battle of the bigs like that, like you would see between Mobley and Karl Anthony Towns. I know that a lot of basketball purists, they still love to see some of the stuff that we saw from, Wemby last night, doing a little bit of a Lou Alcindor impression, getting the ball in the lane late, making a nice turnaround little hook shot. People love seeing that type of stuff, and that's a big part of what Evan Mobley and Karl Anthony Towns can do. But they've also obviously modernized their game a little bit too. Those guys also have a little bit of range. They're able to stretch the floor a little bit. They're not quite so stationary like we've seen in the past from bigs. And obviously that's that's because the NBA has changed quite so much. Like you said, Matt, you can't really get anything in this league if you're not willing to change your game a little bit.
So you look back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even a little bit, I'd say Marshall Faulk is one of the ones that kind of started, if you're a running back, you have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. If you're a basketball player and you're going to play in the NBA, I don't care what size you are, when you're open, you got to be able to knock down a jump shot. That's used to it. It wasn't that way. Oh, you're a big guy. Okay. Well, we don't have to worry about you shooting outside. Just go down low, blah, blah, do what you got to do. It's totally different. That's the game's evolved a little bit where it's about spacing and you have to be able to knock down open jumpers.
While we talk a little bit more about basketball right here, there was a story this morning that caught my eye that ties into the NBA here a little bit, as well as the Southeastern Conference. You guys remember a couple of years ago whenever Arkansas played St. John's in that big round of 32 game?
Lewis.
Yeah, R.J. Lewis. He was the star player for that St. John's Red Storm team, and Arkansas effectively shut him down pretty much in that game. He was not the main scorer for the Red Storm in that round of 32 matchup that we saw a couple of seasons ago. Well, over the last couple of years, he's kind of been on again, off again in the NBA. He's never played in an actual National Basketball Association game. He did make some appearances in the G League, signed a two-way contract with the Jazz in July of 25, traded to Boston in August, waived by Boston, signed another, the next day, then waived the next day. But today, he signed with LSU to come back to college basketball. Now with the whole 5-for-5 eligibility model that's expected to be adopted by the NCAA for next season, R.J. Lewis does sort of fit into this, role in a way. And so what I'm wondering is if things kind of, I guess you would say, go south for the Razorbacks when the NBA draft is said and done, you don't retain the services of Malik Thomas or Billy Richmond, one or the other. Is this possibly a path in which they could take? They could end up playing in the G League a little bit, then coming back to school and retaining some of their eligibility.
But I think both those guys are so good that if you're Real Madrid in Spain, if you're a team in Australia, like we got to remember that all these countries have an NBA that pay really, really well.
Very handsomely.
They like, so I think those two kids will be fine. Now, I don't know if it's selfishly or if it's just their babies and they're not going to play for a couple years.
Mhm.
Like you kind of got to grow up. It's like, come back. You got NIL for a reason. Come back, make $2 million playing 40 basketball games against kids instead of worrying about going to play against grown men and grow. Work your craft, because when you go to that next level, they're not going to run a single play for you. Like you're going to be the ninth guy on the bench. So it's like, hey, hang on, come back to Arkansas, lead them to a Final Four, make a couple mil, and do your thing. But I think Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond will both make at least $10 million over their professional playing career. Both of them.
If Billy comes back, man, his status as his legendary status as a Razorback, just how many years he stayed here.
It'll be his third year if he comes back. Huh?
Yeah,
and that's a lot. That's a lot, really.
When do we find out? When does the stuff happen where we know what those two kids are going to do?
At the end of May, I believe it's May 27th is when they have to make a declaration as to whether or not they are going to be coming back or not. Don't quote me on that. I'll come back here after we finish up this break and make sure that is correct and accurate information.
I ask because it's coming up.
It's coming up soon, to where eventually decisions do have to be made. And you talk about the fact that these guys could potentially, in your estimation, Matt, these guys could make $10 million in their NBA career.
That's a low end. That's a low end.
Yeah, and that's like you said, that could potentially even be lowballing it. That's if those guys don't reach their absolute ceiling. Mm-hmm. That money plays a part in this R.J. Lewis too, because whenever he went to the NBA draft, he had a very clear miscommunication of what his value was. He thought that he was a bar none, obviously NBA player, ready to go, make it in the association the day that he stepped out, and quite obviously his skill wasn't ready to do that. I'm not saying that that's where I think Billy Richmond and Malik Thomas are. Obviously, selfishly, as a Razorback fan that likes to watch the basketball teams, I would love for them to come back and give me more to root for, but I'm just wondering if, because R.J. Lewis did a lot of this with the help of his father, who was sort of acting like his agent. What you're just hoping is that guys like Malik Thomas, who have experience playing in overtime elite when he was in high school, and a guy like Billy Richmond, who has a great relationship with Cal and company and has great sources in the NBA, you hope those guys aren't getting the clear miscommunication as to what their value is from the upper level, from the NBA, because if not, they could be chasing that dream, and like you said, Matt, playing 2 or 3 years at a level of basketball that obviously millions of basketball players would aspire to attain to and actually reach that level. But when it comes to the two leagues of basketball now that are most important and paying you the most, it still is NBA, obviously, first and foremost, and now college. So that's just kind of what I wanted to tie in right there with the NBA. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as the show goes on, obviously, as the playoffs continue. We'll have a lot to talk about, obviously, with Oklahoma City being so close to this market and on the rabid fans that they have. Obviously, Wemby, all the great stuff he does, and then my New York Knicks, hopefully coming back to the promised land sometime soon. But
that'd be pretty crazy if the Knicks won it.
Yeah, it would be. Let me tell you, I'm thinking about tattoos. I'm going to be spending a lot of money on apparel. I'm a pretty casual fan when it comes to the basketball sometimes.
Fraser mink coat.
Yeah, something like that. The Fraser mink coat. I may have to get something that's not mink. It may have to. It may not end up being mink. It may end up being rat fur or something like that. Whatever PETA wouldn't get on top of me for. That's probably one thing that I would have to find and figure out. But tell you right now, we'll talk about the SEC baseball tournament coming up in a little bit with Clay. The Razorbacks are on the road to Hoover for the SEC tournament, and all of us, ESPN Arkansas, will be there from the first pitch to the final out. Our exclusive coverage is brought to you by Butler Furniture and Mountain Home, where we had a live show this morning for the Morning Rush. You can shop their pre-Memorial Day sale going on right now, and remember that it is better at Butler's. Also brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV. They have 7 locations all across the beautiful natural state, and have been selling fun since 1971. Summer fun starts today at Bradford Marine and ATV. They're also brought to you by Walk-On Sports Bistro. Walk-On's has you covered with over 60 TVs in every location, scratch-made Louisiana favorites, and a full lineup of craft beers and cocktails. Everything you need for a big game atmosphere. It's Walk-On Sports Bistro, for the win. We come back here on halftime. We'll have Alyssa Orange from Varsity Vibe talking a little bit about the SEC softball and baseball tournaments, as well as the state finals in softball and baseball right here on halftime on ESPN Arkansas.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
Take it from Arkansas greats, Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local,
making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
Still Arkansans' fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansans.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper, so knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every day, Joe's Grill makes fresh from scratch salsas, queso dip, and guacamole with crispy warm chips to start your meal. Plus fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, and more that will make your experience one you won't forget. Great Tex-Mex and even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Things over. So far to swallow. Where things are.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Now, here's Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
Well, we're efforting to get Alyssa Orange on the line here on ESPN Arkansas's halftime. You can call us. You can text us 877-377-6963 to get with us here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Talk about anything you want. Basketball last night, baseball coming up here in just a few days for your Arkansas Razorbacks. There is some live action happening right now in the SEC tournament. Missouri and Ole Miss right now in a slugfest in the bottom of the 5th. Missouri has 7 runs. Ole Miss has 6. I did see Zach Arn sent me a text message earlier, and he also posted on his own personal social media pages of a Missouri runner that got picked off and at first base, and he couldn't even make it back to the bag. So that was
that happened to me.
That's pretty amusing.
I tore my ACL.
You tore your ACL trying to go back to first base on a pick play?
I had a lead, right? Mm-hmm. And I was leaning, I guess, too far to the right.
Oh, it was an aggressive lead.
And then the pitcher throws to first, and I lean back to the left, and my knee pops and gives out. So I'm wondering if that's what happened there.
Okay, well, if you're wondering that, Christian, what I'm wondering is, and everybody knows your philangelical history down there with your feet. What I'm wondering is this post toe removal? So
yes.
So that
the
may
toe
have been
removal could have been part of it.
So that may have been part of the reason for the leaning, is that you could potentially the toes had you
yes.
had you too far over what little toes you may have had left right there. Well, you can't get picked off at first base or third base. I got picked off at third base one time when we were playing Huntsville. But anyway, my coach didn't like me after that very much longer, and I said some dirty words in the dugout. All the parents got mad at me, including my own, and it was a humbling experience. But we'll talk a little bit more about the SEC baseball tournament and everything going on in Hoover as we continue on here on halftime. Clay Henry will join us, and we'll obviously defer to all of his expertise. But one thing I did want to talk a little bit about, baseball and softball state championships are happening right now. They'll be going on this week, May the 21st through the 23rd, and there are tons of teams that are in our listening area that will have their young men and women competing for baseball and softball glory. Matt, if you remember your days at the varsity level, playing for championships, playing in the playoff, nothing else really matters to you at that moment in your life, right? It is simply purely ball.
Baseball was the first sport, I believe I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to brag too much, but I was playing with 6-year-olds.
Of course you were. Of course you were. You're playing up. Yeah.
Right.
You look like an 8-year-old playing with 6-year-olds.
Exactly. But the first sport I fell in love with was baseball. That was 100% being a kid. You get your buddies, and I moved to Van Buren after my 3rd grade year, and there was a coach and David Moore and his son Clark Moore, and we actually developed a friendship from baseball. As the first time we met on the football field, but baseball, we were on the same team. We ended up being college roommates, getting college scholarships together and all that stuff. But you'll never forget when you're in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, baseball, man, those were the days of the summer right there. That the coolest time ever.
It certainly is. I remember my days. I was never fortunate enough to play for any state championships, but obviously those relationships that I built playing, sports throughout my entire life, I still keep up with some of those, and they're always very, very fun. But starting off with the baseball state championships that are going to get underway here on Thursday, you got Woodlawn and Palestine Wheatley in the 2A state championship. That'll be at 10 a.m. That's right.
Woodlawn's
Harmony,
kind of a little powerhouse.
Harmony Grove and Ashdown in the 3A state championship. That'll also be on May 21st. Brookland and Pulaski Academy in the 4A state final. Harbor and Bryant also on May 22nd this Friday. That would be a humdinger of a game to go watch as well. And then on May 23rd, that Saturday, Mount Ida versus Taylor in the 1A state final. And then the one that I would actually not mind to go see is the 5A state final, because it's Benton and Valley View. And Valley View, if I remember correctly, they had a kid that got drafted, I believe, in one of the first few rounds of the MLB draft a handful of years ago, and they have tended to churn out college players up there in Valley View, Arkansas for the Blazers. So that should be pretty fun too. On the softball field, obviously, May 21st, it starts off with Tuckerman versus Woodlawn in the 2A state final, Harding Academy and DeWitt later on that night. This coming Friday, Warren and Monticello in the 4A state finals. The 6A is Bentonville and Harbor High School. Warren and Monticello. That is a good 4A rivalry too. Yeah, that should be a good game. And then in the 1A state finals on this Saturday for softball, Scranton versus Taylor again. So Taylor getting a little double dip. They could walk away with a softball and a baseball championship, as well as the Benton Tigers will be taking on Farmington in the 5A state championships at 7 p.m. out May 23rd. I know those are taking place at Majestic down there in Hot Springs. So that should be a very fun weekend of baseball and softball across the natural state, playing for glory. That's exactly what you do when you're playing high school sports. Playing for glory, you want to get your name etched into gold somewhere and living on in that trophy case absolutely forever. So that should be fun to keep an eye on as well, and we'll give you some updates on that next week as to who comes away with the baseball and softball crowns in the high school ranks across the great state of Arkansas. We didn't talk a lot of softball yesterday. That's one thing I do want to get to real quick in just a minute. Coach Courtney Difel had a lot to say after her Razorback softball team ended up run-ruling every single opponent that they faced in the Fayetteville Regional, and they're starting at 11 a.m. this upcoming Friday here, and it's going to be a very fun game. Coach Seifel talked about how playing at 11 o'clock is a good thing for their team. They're going to get that completely out of the way, but there is one thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about, and that's how Coach Courtney Difel mentioned that now that the program has no longer fallen on hard times and they're a winning, consistent program, it means a lot to the potential recruits here, not only in the natural state, but across this great country that could be watching and figuring out where they want to go play college softball. There's probably very few places better than the Razorbacks.
It was 11 years ago. And so it's crazy because now what these players grew up watching and what our recruits grew up watching is this Arkansas product. Like they have to they're like, wait, you guys weren't good? 10, 11 years ago, it's like, no, this is an elite program.
It's an elite program. And so that's what we talked a little bit about this morning, Matt, and I do want to get your opinion on this. So obviously this is a huge dissonance from what is now softball to or to football, because everybody now, the kids that are growing up, the kids that are high school age, that are about to make their commitments to where they want to play college softball, they have a winning program with a great coach that's been extremely consistent these last 10 years, last 11 years or so, that they have something they can look forward to, that they have something that they can probably, want to be a part of. All the kids that are that age right now, they only know Arkansas softball as a winning program. Well, all the kids in Arkansas who play football, they only know Arkansas football is falling on hard times. So, Matt, what is it going to take to change that mindset? Is it just wins, or is it take a guy like Ryan Silverfield, plucking these 4 and 5 stars as sparingly as they come out of the high school ranks here in Arkansas? Is that all it's going to take?
Well, first of all, you got to have the right guy in charge, and obviously softball has the right lady in charge. So you got to get the right person in charge, because that's your leader. Your coach. You wonder why Pittsburgh was so good and never had a losing record. Mike Tomlin's the man. So you'll see how they go from there. But to come back to Arkansas football, you got to have a guy that's passionate. You got to believe that he has your back and that he cares. He's got to be the leader. There's so many little things that go into having a really good program. And I think that the last regime, they was more of like, man, he was just – and, hey, there's nothing wrong. I have not a bad word to say about Sam Pittman. He's a good dude. Sam Pittman's cool. Like, whatever. he's not a good football coach, man. He's not a good lead. Like, whatever was going on, he was in over his skis. You got to have the right guy for the job, and Coach Pittman wasn't the right guy for the job. Now, when you look back at our AD and you look back at what they're trying to do, were they even trying to win? I don't think they were. I don't think Hunter and having Coach Pittman and doing whatever they were doing, I think they were trying to appear. They were like Christian Bale in American Psycho. They were just trying to fit in. They weren't really trying to win. I think this new staff is going to try to win, and I think you'll be able to see it early. I don't think it's going to be something where in 3 years you're going to it's going to happen early is what I'm saying. You're going to see it. You're going to see a change. You're going to noticeable difference, and I think the football team's in proper care. Now, you know, Hunter is the guy that hired him, and his track record hiring football coaches isn't very well. But maybe he closed his eyes and got one right.
Yeah. Maybe, like you said, maybe he's in there with those business meetings, and he's just admiring the subtle off-white color of the business card. Yeah,
you know, because they're making money, and you're like, okay, we go 0-8 and we can make money. It's like, well, yeah, I guess then we'll just keep going 0-8. But Arkansas, the state of Arkansas, the football fans of Arkansas, you guys, they are ready for a revolution. They are ready for change. They are ready for something to happen to be excited about. And the only excitement we had was it was a fugazi hype that we beat a Penn State team in a bowl game. That bowl games don't matter. That you can't tell me that if that's Coach Pittman's biggest win, that's a jamboree win. That doesn't matter. The bowl games don't matter like they used to matter back in the 80s and 90s. Like, it's just like, okay, this is an exhibition. Let's go play it. Half our team's not going to play. Half our team's going to be in the portal. You know, so you're just kind of like, well, we got to go play it. That's it. We didn't win any big games.
I think you're right, though, Matt. I think that, you know, that if that's the biggest thing that Coach Pittman can hang his hat on, obviously that does not spell well for what Razorback fans have gone through for so long when it comes to their football program. And obviously, like we talked about, that's a very stark difference from what you'd see Courtney Deifel and company doing over there with that softball team at Bogle Park. But like you said, Matt, these guys and these guys and gals that watch the Razorbacks every Saturday, they are hungry for that football team to get a lot better. And speaking of hungry, I've had to adjust my body clock here recently, working now during the middle of the day. I don't know how you two aren't just like stuffing down food in your face in between every single segment. I have to really get my lunchtime's adjusted. And let me tell you, now that today is Tuesday, it is Taco Tuesday, and the best place to celebrate Taco Tuesday is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina right here in Fort Smith. Every day, Joe's Grill make fresh from scratch salsa, queso dip, and guacamole with crisp, warm chips to start your meal. Plus, they have fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, and more, and that will make your experience one that you won't forget. Great Tex-Mex and even better service at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, right across from Harps. We'll come back here, wrap up hour number 1 of halftime in just a minute on ESPN Arkansas.
People of Arkansas, I believe, are ready for a revolution.
This is halftime.
It's time to get ready for the Old Fort Days Rodeo, and Jelco Outdoors, the official provider of Old Fort Days Rodeo merchandise, is ready to get you there in style. Caps, t-shirts, and other items for men, women, and children. Save on Ariat and Wrangler jeans with our buy 2 pair, get 1 free deal. Cowboy hats by Ariat and Justin. Select Western boots, buy 1, get 1 free. Get ready for the Old Fort Days Rodeo at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust a team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Albert.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code BUDGET to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code BUDGET to borrow up to $10,000. Use code BUDGET to borrow up to $10,000.
Disappointment is a part of sports. As they say, you can't win them all. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. From both personal and professional experience, I know that the road to victory is not always a straight line. If you have found yourself in a rebuilding year, your spouse has entered the transfer portal, you've been benched by an arrest, or you're on the IR from a car wreck, I'm here to help. Custody, criminal, car wrecks. Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want, so what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
The Solid Rock will soon be celebrating 50 years as a locally owned source for inspirational gifts. From greeting cards and women's boutique items to custom laser engraving and a large selection of Bibles, they offer something for everyone. While you are there, browse their faith-based books, music, clothing, home decor, and unique, hard-to-find treasures for the whole family. And their Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock. Share the spirit, enjoy the inspiration. 452-4844.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, and. Everybody lives and everybody cries. Everybody lives and everybody dies. Everybody eats and everybody loves. Everybody knows what everybody does. Everybody's going through the changes. Every complication.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, just moving right along. This beautiful kind of dreary, little drizzly in the River Valley day, but we're having a good time. Colton Little with this, Christian Johnson on the board. Guys, I just saw this. If you want to get in with us, please feel free to. Jesse, we're going to get to you at the top of the hour, so just hang tight for us, buddy. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in with us. 30 years ago, Melancholy, Smashing Pumpkins, came out, so they're going to do a 30th anniversary tour.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'm going to have to go see it. That's one of my favorite albums. I love the Smashing Pumpkins. I just wanted to ask you two guys, if there was a concert, it can be nostalgic or it can be somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys want to go see this next year if you had a concert to go see?
If I had to see one upcoming in this next year, I think that Smashing Pumpkins one would be really good, especially with the anniversary of Melancholy, the Reverend Billy Corgan. I think that would be really fun. I can't tell you if I have one that I'm looking forward to. I can tell you this. I've only been to a handful of concerts in my entire life, but the one that I went to that was the absolute best, and I know this guy, he's pretty polarizing because everybody hates the fact that he's just a great Lothario who has slept with plenty of beautiful women, but John Mayer, went and saw him in concert one time. They had, if you're an aspiring guitar player, if you like picking the sixth string, if you like electric guitar, go see a John Mayer concert sometime. They have a full big screen at every single concert just to watch his massive hands hit those strings and do it masterfully every time. I'd love to go see him again because he likes to think of himself as a little bit of a comedian too. I think he does actually host his own show on Sirius XM, I believe still, and he did some stuff during the pandemic where he hosted his own show.
Room for Squares?
Yeah,
is that his first album?
Room for Squares
Yeah.
was the first one. He had an EP before that, but that was one that somebody I'd love to go see again too. And I also schmoozed the usher to get us a little bit closer seats too. Lied and said it was my anniversary.
My wife got me to go see last weekend Romeo Santos and Prince Royce. At
okay.
the American Airlines Center.
What kind of music do they play?
in there?
It's like Hispanic, but it's. I mean, I didn't understand the words, but I liked the beat.
That was my favorite Saturday Night Live skit this last Saturday. They were like, "What is that?" That was Spanish. I love it, Unit. I love it. All right, well, we're having a good time. We're gonna get to you, Jesse, at the top of the hour. Thank you. We got fisherman Clay Henry coming in for a couple hours. A lot of baseball talk, a lot of basketball talk, a lot of whatever you want to talk about. We'll be back after this.
Ruskin and Zach are on the road again, back in Madison County at Sutherland's. Tuesday, May 26th from 2 to 6 p.m. in Huntsville. Take advantage of great deals on all Bad Boy mowers, including free delivery and setup on all ZTRs they sell within 20 miles of the store. And who can forget the awesome specials on the Onyx collection that can transform your shower, toilet, or sink into a true luxury item. Plus, lumber is their business, so if you're considering a new front deck or back porch, look no further than Sutherland's. Ruskin and Zach live at Sutherland's, 121 East Lee Street in Huntsville, Tuesday, May 26th from 2 to 6 p.m. Sutherland's, no matter the project, we're here to help because at Sutherland's, home starts here.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and a chance of thunderstorms or high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Some of these storms could be strong to severe. Active weather will remain in place tonight and overnight, low in the low to mid 60s. A chance of rain and a few rumbles of thunder on Wednesday with a high into the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take him in hand and that's the respect him.
Live from the Busch Lights Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin things dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
From the bottom of my Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no Moss at halftime.
Vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story's over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
All right, man, what a day. Just having a good time here today. 12:01, Tuesday, May 19th, this edition of Halftime. Had a great game on the hoop court yesterday. Had a game 7 in hockey that went into overtime. A lot of fun. Got Christian Johnson on the board, Colton Little with us as well. And now we got fisherman Clay Henry for a couple hours. Clay, what's up, buddy? Did you watch any of that basketball game last night? What you been up to?
I didn't watch any basketball last night. I watched the last episode of Landman.
Oh,
sorry.
No, Clay, I've seen that one. Tell me what you thought. I saw the
took
first
me a
two
little while.
seasons of Landman, yeah.
It took me a little while to kind of get into it, obviously. My wife watched it, a year and a half ago? I don't know. She watched all of them, and I was gone during that stretch, and she binge-watched without me. So I was like, well, she didn't want to watch it again, and she finally was like, hey, we ought to watch that again. I thought it was pretty good. So
one of my favorite jokes was they were getting on the plane, and he goes, hey, chill out, woman. Keep it down. You don't worry about trying. You're not that lucky. God's not going to kill me today. So relax. We're going to be okay.
Well, I pretty much liked the last episode or so where all the bad stuff was happening at once, and he's going down the interstate on the way from Fort
Make my
Worth.
day worse. Can you make my day any worse?
Don't look up to the big man and say that. Don't do that.
I agree with you.
Don't do that. That's a bad thing to do. And all at once, it's like a 40-car semi-truck accident. Everybody crashing into each other. I guess he didn't get hit, but everybody else did. And so don't challenge God. He can do it.
That's like Isaiah Joe. He got 0 minutes yesterday, but I was still pulling for the 2 Fort Smith kids to get in there. And then I think we're witnessing something with this Wembanyama that is just, we haven't seen it before. It's something that's like a Bill Russell, a Wilt Chamberlain, a Lou Alcindor. It's just something that we're kind of looking at it in.
And he's a unicorn.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you know how we were joking about Mark Pope talking about generational talent? That is generational talent. Just because you're 6'7" doesn't mean you're just. But that Wemby is a generational talent, and I go back to this, Clay. I love Kevin Durant when he came out of Texas. I love Dirk Nowitzki. I'm thinking of players that were skilled, like 6'11", that could dribble, could shoot, could do. Wemby's 7'4" can do that stuff. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and I was not a believer in Chet Holmgren when he came out of
He's a little
Gonzaga.
soft.
Yeah, but he's growing on me. I see some things that he does that are
shoot,
yeah, and he can protect the rim, and he'll swat him from
he had
nowhere.
a big block at the end of regulation.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Well, this is the fun time to watch basketball. I probably watch more of that than anything else.
PGA Championship. Did you check it out over the weekend?
I watched almost all of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about Aaron Rai. I mean, I obviously knew that he was from England and was a good player, but I didn't know all the detail, the background about having, he keeps his irons with a head cover. Nobody does that except for ladies. Ladies always have head covers on their irons.
Their modesty has no bounds.
That's right. And but I think he's got the stuff. He's got the stuff to be here for a while. And he was unflappable. and it was and when the first inclination, I didn't know how well he was thought of by his peers, his rivals, so to speak. Has no rivals. There's nobody that hates Aaron Rye, and they do a brief little interview with Roy McIlroy, and he blurted it out. He says, "There's not anybody on the property that's unhappy with this winner. This is going to be a really popular winner." Now, I can remember covering the PGA Championship at Oak Tree in the late 80s when Jeff Sluman won, and the same thing was being said on that. He was not doesn't have the it factor. Jeff Sluman never has. I mean, he's doesn't hit it that far, stays out of trouble, stays in his lane, never causes any issues. And there was a calmness in Oklahoma, and I'm not going to say his name or his paper. People will figure it out. And he wrote, "This was a very unpopular winner to have a nobody win." And I thought how wrong that was to say it then. And, hopefully nobody's saying this about Aaron Rye, because, a lot of these clubs, they want to say their tournament was won by Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy.
Well, Justin Rose, where he won his last major, he's a paying dudes member now, and he goes back once a year to go play there to remember it. Yeah, I know it's exactly what you're saying.
But there'll be some people like, well, our winner is Aaron Rye. Well, who is he? Well, Aaron Rye is a pretty special dude in my eyes, and I was pulling for him. Once I figured out who he was, his background, came from nothing, young married kid, he's got a LPGA tour player as his wife. You could tell when he came off the green, their relationship was just as solid, and boy, she was proud of him, grabbed that hand, and was toting him around the golf course waiting for those other guys to finish. That was kind of a fun scene. And I was pulling for Rory McIlroy because I think I had him in our pool, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who won? Do we know?
The unit won again.
He's 2-0.
He's 2-0. He's on to something.
Man, how many tacos are you going to eat? Me and Matt are going to go poor buying you tacos.
I don't have any. I'm going to have to take a loan out to pay for these.
I
tacos.
got it.
Okay.
I got it,
All
Matt.
right. Well, hey, we got a couple phone callers lined up. We're going to hit the phones real quick since they've been so patient for us. Yessie in Springdale, what's up, dude?
What's happening, man? I've been waiting all day to talk to you guys.
How's it going, Jesse?
Man, last night was like watching Game 7 of the finals. That was just an amazing basketball game.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite part? Just watching.
I think the one play that just really did it for me was when Stefan Castle posterized SGA and just gave him the look hanging on the rim. It was a
big dog.
He just hit his head. If you remember, he just bounced his head off the hardwood. Sorry, like two series before. Like two play, and then he came down. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, that was an awesome game. I don't know how anybody wouldn't think that Wembanyama doesn't have at least 3 or 4 MVPs coming up. That guy is absolutely ridiculous. 41 points and 28 boards?
24.
24,
But
sorry.
12 of 13 from the foul line.
Mm-hmm.
That's big time right there. Shaq would do that, but go like 3 of 9, or 3 of 14 or something.
Well, those free throws, he's only, when he releases the ball, he's only 4
like
feet
Randy
away.
Johnson. Yeah.
Cherry picking at that point, yeah. He's also 22 years old, which is the scariest thing in the world. If he stays healthy, and that's hard to do with the frame of that size and the way that they use him, if he stays healthy, Jesse, three or four more, you may be underselling it in a way, how good and how dominant he could be.
He's still going to fill out. He's going to gain weight.
It's all going to depend on if he can stay healthy or not, which is definitely going to be a concern. But when he's on the floor, there's nothing you can do. And that's my favorite part of watching that team is like all these slashers that get to the rim, they all come down there and they see he's in there and they just keep on dribbling right out to the 3-point line because they just do not want to get blocked.
Yeah, he only had 3 blocks. That's a very good point. He only had 3 blocks, but how many times did somebody beat their guy and see him standing there and dribble back
Retreat,
outside?
yeah.
That. I mean, I counted 6, 7, 8 times that happened.
Yeah, it was awesome. I do have some concerns though going forward. I think it's probably going to go at least to 6, maybe to 7 games. But the turnovers was definitely is going to be a big deal. Castle and Harper got to take much better care of the ball.
Castle looks like that running quarterback that they brought into the NFL, and they're like, all right, we got to make you a pocket passer now. And they're kind of living with his mistakes because he is so athletic and he is able to do some special things, but he's not really a polished point guard, so to speak. So I get exactly what you're saying. It is a little nervous, but he does so many other things so well and puts pressure on the defense that they're able to live with some of those turnovers. But I can't have 11 he did have 11 assists, so he's 1-to-1, but can't have a 11 turnovers.
Sort of a wash in that way.
Yeah,
right?
but
you get 11, you get turn 11.
I'm right now in the playoffs. I'm like your boy from the Detroit Lions. I don't care what the stats are. All I want to know is that we have one more point than the other team.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's take one more phone call in this segment.
Tuna.
Man, listen, every time I watch Wemby play, I think I'm watching Space Jam again.
Yeah.
I know you guys remember the OG Space Jam.
Like Go Gadget Arm.
Go Gadget. That's right.
But look, I'll never forget watching the first Summer League game, and there were people who had lost their mind because he doesn't shoot the ball well in this game. And they go, he's not going to be very good. And I'm thinking, really, is that how we're judging people now off their first Summer League game? I mean, really, is that what we're doing? But you could have. I watched that game and I saw, like, all the things that you got the skill level to be able to be 7'4", have that skill level. I mean, yeah, man, it's something that we've never seen. 22 years old, like Colton said, that's crazy. Only in his 3rd year. When LeBron was 22, I believe, is when he took that. Not very, in my opinion, they had no business beating Detroit in that series.
And Gauskas.
You just did Drunas,
that team,
Gauskas. Great pull, Christian.
He took that team to the finals somehow, and they got swept by a way better team.
Yeah.
Now this is different. The Spurs are better than that Cavs team was, but yeah, I mean him being 22, I mean it just kind of reminds you of that. It reminds me of that, him coming into his own. But look, it's one game, and it took him making a 35-foot logo shot to tie it. If I'm OKC, I don't overreact. Shea, you got to play better. He'll be better, and he owned up to it at the end of the game. As you say, Matt, Joe didn't play, but I mean Joe's used to that. I mean, there's some series he just don't play, but he may play in game 2. Who knows what adjustments they make? But I mean, with Wemby, guys, my plan would be make this guy a passer. I mean, I'm just not going to let him come down and just beat me. Somebody else would have to beat me. So we'll see what kind of adjustments are made. But I'm excited about this Eastern Conference one, too. I want to see these 4 teams, like, they're the 4 best teams for sure, and they deserve to be here. I remember it was a couple years back, Matt, you brought it up. Who would you take right now? And I believe I said Wembanyama, and somebody on here said Anthony Edwards. Where you guys at with that? I mean, Anthony Edwards is right there. If you were going to take an NBA player right now to build around, I still got to go Victor. And I said it, I think, early in his 2nd year. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Tuna, I mean, don't go. One of the things you have to remember when Anthony Edwards is healthy, he's hell on wheels too. Yeah, he battled injuries this playoff, and if Wembanyama has injuries, that he's going to disappear just like everybody else does when they're hurt.
There's a handful of guys. I mean, You're still taking the Joker out in Denver. You're still taking a healthy Luka Doncic. I mean, there's about 5 or 6 just absolute game changers, and Victor's one of them. Hey, SGA, you don't think I'll tell you this, SGA will have a game in this series where he's going to score 50 points.
Yeah.
He didn't have his best game last night.
So what I've seen, and when I've watched little glimpses of the playoffs, sometimes I watch more than others, more games, it just depends on what else is going on. But it looks like people are taking the ball out of his hands, and they're doubling him, and they're grabbing him. And I got a call from Jim King, Hall of Famer, played for the Lakers, played side by side with Jerry West. He called last week, and he's an SGA fan because they're both, he likes the Thunder because of the two Northside guys. He's a Northside guy, Jim King, and good friend of mine. And he said that 2 things are happening. The NBA now is thug-like against the good players. And he says, if you watch SGA, people are wrapping both arms around his waist to restrict his movement, and they're not calling it. And why that's not a foul, I don't understand. And they called, in one of the games, 4 or 5 games back, they called a flagrant because SGA pulled the guy's arm off of him and slung him away. They said that was a flagrant. Well, if somebody's got their arms wrapped around you, what do?
You look over your shoulder and you hit them with an elbow, and then
Well, that's what Wembanyama did.
I'm joking, but no, you're right. That's kind of the thing is when you have somebody, you got to make it put pressure on them. You got to make it intense. You got to make them think, and then what you're trying to do, honestly, Clay, is you're trying to wear them down.
Get in their head.
Yeah, you wear them down. They start thinking, and then later on that they don't make some of those shots. Well, hey, let's go to a break unit, and then we'll come back after this.
The Razorbacks are on the road to Hoover for the SEC tournament, and ESPN Arkansas will be there from the first pitch to the final out. Our exclusive coverage is brought to you by Butler Furniture and Mountain Home. All the action in Hoover is
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 sense with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo Dusted Crispy Chicken Nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports. To me, it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with the free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
RKBeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
I never saw the end in sight. Fools are kind of blind. Thought everything was going all right, but I was running out of time. You had one foot out the door, I swear I didn't see. But if you're really going away, here's some final words from me. Baby, write this down.
Enjoy the music you hear on Halftime? Of course you do. Our Halftime playlist is brought to you by Bath Makeover of Arkansas. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is a local Arkansas business installing American-made bathtub showers and walk-in tubs, and is the state's largest bathroom remodeler. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is also the official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Schedule your free design consultation by calling 1-800-NEW-BATH, and they'll lock in your price for 1 year. That's 1-800-NEWBATH, and you can check them out online at bathmakeoverar.com. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Kristen Johnston.
You can write this down because Clay Henry always joins us too as well on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We appreciate him. Hall of Famer, Emmy Award winner. There's probably some more superlatives that I'm forgetting, but I don't think
enough.
That's enough. We only have 3 hours here. I don't know if I can get them all in. So
well, you start at the top.
Start at the top alphabetically, maybe. That's probably what I should have done. Man. Here on Back on Halftime, obviously, Matt Jones, myself, Colton Little, Clay Henry joins us, Christian Johnson on the controls, as he always is, here in the Crabtree RV Center studios. Summer's here. It's not too late to get started on your next adventure, and you can do that with Crabtree RV at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma. Crabtree RV Center, making your dreams come true. One thing I do want to talk about right now, it is SEC baseball tournament time. They've actually already gotten underway. Missouri and Ole Miss now, they're in the 7th inning, it looks like, at this very moment. They're holding a little bit of a lead right there, as is the Missouri Tigers. They're up 8-6 right now in the bottom of the 7th over Ole Miss. And there's been already a couple of dramatic moments in this game so far in the 16-9 matchup. And that has to do with the fact that they have the automatic balls and strike system now in the SEC tournament. It's sort of on loan from the MLB. The NCAA didn't really have too much to do with this. And it's not going to be incorporated throughout the rest of the tournament as far as we know right now. But it does look like it's going to have a pretty big effect on what happens in Hoover. Automatic balls and strikes, like we talked about earlier this morning, and as you guys may know, as our listeners out there, has been implemented in the MLB, and it sort of does the job of an umpire in judging balls and strikes automatically with the setup of the zone. Clay, I just want to know what your thoughts are. Is this going to affect Arkansas quite a bit in any way, you think? They get 3 challenges, and if you end up being right, you get to retain that challenge. But this seems like it kind of works right into favor of a savvy coach like DVH, who might be able to, get a couple extra strikes for his team, or maybe have some calls reversed that could end up in favor of the Razorbacks. Clay, what do you think about the ABS here at the SEC tournament?
Well, first of all, the coach doesn't get any challenges.
Yeah.
It's the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter. Now he might give a heads up. So the coach has the worst view of anybody on the field. The one thing he can tell is low or high. He's looking straight from the side. If a pitch cuts across the legs and it's ankle high, he might signal that's a challenge. But the batter's got to decide that, or the pitcher or the catcher. I have a lot of confidence in Ryder Helfrich to understand when and what's time and place. And what you want to make sure that you have is a critical point in the game.
The right time, yeah.
Bases loaded. What's a walk on what should be strike 3. It's really hard for me to tell where the strike zone really is by watching on TV because the camera's offset. No one has a camera directly in line with home plate and the pitcher's mound because they don't put the camera in the batter's eye for obvious reason. It's a distraction. It's something in the way. It's over to the side. So when you see that call, you think it's a strike, but it might be off the plate just because of the angle that you have. And I will say that the fastball that's 6 inches outside that looks like that it's kind of cutting in movement, like it's running away. Those are the ones that get called a strike because the umpire made the decision when the ball's a foot away. It's not to the plate yet, and he makes up his mind. Those are the ones that are going to be overturned.
Mm-hmm.
That they're obviously balls, and the catcher knows where he caught it. He knows if it's over the plate. But you better be careful on how you use your challenges because you don't want to get in a critical situation in a tie game late and you don't have that challenge. So you may see them be really judicious in how they use them.
Dari Noka of the SEC Network, he gave a pretty good overview of this last night, and I want to play this cut right here. It's a little bit long, so I may cut it off in the middle, but he gives a pretty good overview about what the ABS system is and how it will be implemented down there in Hoover this week.
The SEC is trying something new this year in Hoover. It's implementing the automated ball strike challenge system on an experimental basis for every single game of this SEC baseball tournament. The system was implemented within Major League Baseball this season, and they use a similar signal and review process. Here's how it works. The home plate umpire will still call balls and strikes. Each team will be permitted to challenge an individual strike or ball call. Now, you're probably asking yourself, who has the authority to challenge? That's a great question. Only 3 players on the field can initiate an ABS challenge: the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher. The signal is the same in each case, with a quick tap of the headgear within 2 or 3 seconds of the pitch. Once this happens, the home plate umpire signals to the press box and announces that a challenge has been initiated. The video board and broadcast show the pitch location, whether the call is confirmed or overturned, and the updated count. Each team gets 3 challenges per game. If the call on the field is overturned, the team gets to keep that challenge. If the call on the field is confirmed, the team will lose that challenge.
So kind of like you said, Clay, you have to be judicious. You have to be selective and really pick your spots with this. You don't want to obviously burn all of your challenges in the first couple innings or so. You definitely want to do it whenever the game is on the line. And like you said, it's only the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher that are actually in the game at that moment that can make any type of signal. DVH can't go out there and stop the game. Jay Johnson for LSU, all these guys that are coaching these squads, they can't go out there and make these calls, but maybe they can give some sort of quick signal. But like Dari Noka said, you do have to be pretty brisk with this and make sure that the umpire knows, hey, we're challenging this call and it needs to happen right now. They'll have it displayed on the video board and obviously on the television as well. So everybody in the ballpark and everybody watching at home will be able to see and I hate to put it this way, but just how good these umpires are most of the time. I feel like that's what's going to be the end-all, say-all when this is all said and done, is that these umpires tend to be right more often than we give them credit for. But I was just wondering how that would work its way into Hoover and if that would play into Arkansas's advantage when it comes to pitching and everything like that. And that's obviously one of the biggest questions right now, Clay, when it comes to what does Arkansas do with this pitching staff in the SEC tournament. They are firmly in the national tournament picture. We think that probably hosting may be out of it unless they go on a really good run here over these next several outings in Hoover. But Clay, what do you do first game Wednesday? You're going to play either the winner of Tennessee or South Carolina, and they get underway at 5:30 Eastern time tonight from Hoover, so you'll figure out later on this evening who Arkansas gets to match up with. It'll either be a South Carolina team whose coach you essentially fired one game into that season or into that series earlier this season. There were other extenuating factors that led to Maneri being gone there in Columbia, but you're either going to play South Carolina or a really hot Tennessee team. So, Clay, what do you make of this pitching situation right now? Do you go ahead and keep Hunter Dietz as your ace?
Here's what I'd say before Clay goes. Father being a coach, being around it, I'd huddle up my team in the locker room and say, look, guys, if we can't beat this team with our second best pitcher, we don't deserve to be here.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm throwing my ace this first game. And what you're going to do is you're going to instill confidence in somebody else going forward. I am not pitching my ace in this first. Hey, we are better than this team, guys. Let's go out there. Cream rises to the top. Let's go out there and play, have fun, do our thing. That's just me. But I know it's kind of different. A lot of people say you got to pitch your ace the first game.
Well, there's two ways of thinking about it, and what you said is right, Matt. You know that you might want to save Dietz for the next day. So he pitched Thursday. You want to keep them on some kind of similar rest. He pitched on short rest the previous week, 1 day shorter. This would be 1 day shorter again. That's not what you want to do to your ace typically going into the NCAA tournament, where he's pitched the previous two games on short rest. They're used to having full 6 days rest, and that's not the case for Dietz. If he pitches on Wednesday, that's Thursday to Wednesday.
And it's like,
so you might want to keep him, but then this is the other part. Maybe he says, 5 days, 6 days rest is just right for me. And you say, okay, we're going to pitch you today, and now you're going to have 9 days rest. And this tournament is not important. It's better that we get you out there and get you back in the dugout without really stretching you out, because what we want is you to be fresh for the regional, because they may need him to pitch on Friday and Monday. They're likely going to be a 2 seed, which means he has to pitch the first day of the regional. If they were going to be the 1 seed, then he can pitch on Saturday, not Friday. Does this make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Because if you're a 1, you're playing a 4, then that's when you can go with your number 2. It just depends on what he says to Matt Hobbs. What kind of rest do I like? If he doesn't mind pitching on 1 day short rest, I say pitch him in the first game.
And I hear that. And my thing is coaching. Half of it's psychology 101. And I'm getting my guys together, and it's like, look, we're the better team. We don't have to pitch our ace, our guy this first game, but we can pitch him that second game against Texas, and then it still gives him enough rest. And then what you're doing is hopefully you're instilling some confidence in somebody else going forward, Clay, because we're not going to do anything in any of these tournaments if we only have one pitcher. So you're looking for somebody that can show up and say, hey, you're the guy, you're the next guy up, you're going to be our guy, we trust you, we believe in you, and the team follows. And if you're not good enough with your second pitcher to beat South Carolina, then you're not good enough anyways.
Yeah, it just comes down to how you want to play your the rest aspect of it. And to be real honest, it doesn't really matter if they win this tournament.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I do like beating Texas.
Of course.
I do like holding Dietz for Texas. That makes perfect sense. But, I would say if you're playing South Carolina and they just pitched their ace, if they have an ace, I'm not sure they do, then I think that maybe Holden Dietz. Tennessee is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
They're rolling, really talented. They've got all aspects of a solid team. They were off to a hot finish, and I would think that Dietz might pitch against Tennessee, but if it's somebody else, it's probably Gackle.
Yeah, I think you're right, Clay. You have to do a little bit of a protection for your pitching staff, and having Dietz have the opportunity to pitch against Texas in the second game of the SEC tournament, should you make it past either Tennessee or South Carolina. I know a lot of Razorback fans would love to see their ultimate ace up there against Texas.
The other part that I would throw out there, if you get past Texas and you've won 2 games, you might be in the hosting.
Hosting is still on the table, yeah. Absolutely. And any chance that you can have to protect your opportunity to host.
You beat Texas, the RPI is going to jump.
It'll take a definite hopscotch forward when you need to be sure that you do that. Speaking of protection, you need to protect what matters most. You need to get with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to automatic powered gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served Fort Smith and the area for more than 40 years with custom built to last. Amazing fencing. They have free quotes right now, financing for up to 18 months. And when it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. So call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. We ain't afraid of no work either. We'll be back to work out this last little bit of the second hour of halftime on ESPN Arkansas in just a minute. Stay with us.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
But my question is, this might be crazy. Who is Colton Little? And
this is halftime.
Danny here at Philrod Autoplex. For more than 50 years, we've earned your trust, helping keep your family on the road and driving safe. Spring is here and summer's just around the corner, and we're loaded up. We've got trucks, heavy-duty trucks, SUVs, cars, and EVs, all brand new and on the lot and ready to move. Plus a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, and we're paying big money for your trade. And aggressive incentives and rebates saving you thousands. Philrod Autoplex, exit 84, just off 540, Russville.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. Confetti Craze makes it easy to turn any day into a party with its delicious birthday cake flavor and big birthday energy. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. I bring these tiny bottles everywhere to cakeify my day with tasty caffeine boosts. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Baby, don't you know you gotta suck it up?
Welcome back to Halftime with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Now let's get back to Halftime with Arkansas football legend Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
12:41 here in the afternoon, back on halftime. Got this deer halfway skinned again, boys. We're almost done with this one. This is good stuff. Another great day full of great conversation. And if you missed any of it today, you can always catch it in our Hit That Line Now app, and obviously all the podcasts that we have on there. The Best of the Morning Rush, obviously halftime. Matt Jones, myself, and Kristen Johnston. Clay when he joins, and Ruskin and Zach as well. You can find all of those on the Hit That Line podcast network. Also found on the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. Got some text here on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. You can text into 877-377-6963. Chris from Springdale echoing a little bit of what you said earlier, Clay. Anything we can do to beat Texas, we should do. That's just one of those rivalries. Doesn't matter what the sport is, doesn't matter how much time passes. If Arkansas has the opportunity to play Texas, I know Razorback fans will be chomping at the bit for that opportunity. And they're going to have a lot of all SEC players out there for the Razorbacks, as well as on Texas. They've had a great year as well. But for the Razorbacks, Hunter Dietz named first-team pitcher in the All-SEC. He's also a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award and the Dick Hauser Trophy. SEC leading 117 strikeouts in 78 2/3 inning in 14 starts this season. Your closer, Ethan McIlvain, the fireman, another George Strait reference there. You're welcome, Clay. Got that fantastic Fu Manchu, and he's a second-team All-SEC, one of the best relievers in the conference this past year, and he is the first Arkansas reliever since All-SEC praise for Kevin Kopps in 2021. Also, Ryder Helfrich, he ended up making first-team All-Defense. He has been an absolute wall back there every year that he's been behind the dish at Arkansas. Clay, you were talking about this off air with you and me earlier. Camden Kojo obviously did not have some of the same numbers as his other All-SEC counterparts at the shortstop position, but he does have a pretty good record and a great number of stats at the plate. Also, you mentioned that he kind of had that little run-in with the Kentucky player there and that sort of base running miscue that ended up with the Kentucky player going out on the stretcher. But after that, Clay, he ended up hitting for the cycle in his next couple at-bats. Isn't that correct?
Well, you can't hit for the cycle in 2 at-bats.
That's true.
He got a home run, and this is the significant part about it is, and the Kentucky fans, they're jerks.
Of course.
Their guy was looking the other way and forgot to look where he was going and ran right into the back of Cam. Cam was faced the other direction and really wasn't in the way until the guy that got hurt, wasn't paying attention, was looking towards the outfield, and his side of his face hit the back of Cam's head, and Cam was looking the other way. There's nothing Cam could do.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the runner to not run into stationary objects that are in the path. So Cam comes up first at bat, and the Kentucky fans booed him.
Mm-hmm.
So Cam stays up there for nine at bats, and then jacks one out of the park. And then the next day, he gets a hit in his first at bat, strikes out in his second at bat, and then he adds a triple and a double and a single. So in 6 at bats, he goes for the cycle after they booed him. I think they should understand you don't boo people when they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Here's some interesting numbers on Cam. See if I can pull this up. I had it a while ago. This is a collection of players at Arkansas, not pitchers, but hitters, since I guess it's since 2015 that went in the first 4 rounds. That to me is probably where Cam's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is his last year at Arkansas. He's going to be drafted. He's going to sign. These are the guys that have some of these guys are 3-year guys. So Cam's only got a year and a half. He's still got maybe 10 to 15 to 20 games, depending on how far they go. He could play 2 or 3 games this week. Then he'll probably get 3 or 4 next weekend, and if they keep playing, he could have a lot, could have 15, 20 games. He has 32 home runs. Heston Kjerstad, who played into his 3rd season before COVID shut it down in March, he had 37 home runs. Awiva Aloy had 35. So Cam's got a chance to pass him. That was 2 years. These are just, Ryder Helfrich has 3 years. He's got 33 home runs, which just one ahead of Cam in more games. Andrew Benintendi, 2 years, had 21 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Martin, who played 3 years, had 30. Caden Wallace had 30 in 2 years. And so, I mean, what I'm trying to point out, his numbers are really, really good for his 1 year plus at Arkansas. RBIs 125. Kjerstad had 129 in over 2 years of play, and Cam didn't. So when you look at slugging, he's the leader of these 20 guys that were drafted in the first 4 rounds, and since COVID, with 0.623 slugging, he leads all of these players in OPS. So he's had an exemplary 2 years at Arkansas. He was all SEC last year as a first baseman. Had never played first base before. So I think that then we go into the intangibles and what he means to this team. He's clearly, he and Ryder are the 2 leaders of this team. Nothing happens without it going through those guys as far as leadership. They're going to be the ones to speak behind the scenes. I'm a big fan of Cam. Y'all probably know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when you look at his numbers and what he's done in 2 years, even against some players with their 3 years, I mean, he's got a chance to finish at Arkansas with 35, 38 home runs, and that's not counting his time at Vanderbilt. That's just his 2 years at Arkansas. It's pretty cool numbers.
It is pretty cool numbers, and I didn't even realize that he was up there, amongst the of who we consider the upper echelon of Razorback baseball. Yeah, absolutely. First-round draft picks and guys like that.
So some of those guys had more tools than Cam, a little faster, a little better athlete.
Better arm, probably.
Better armed. He's his arm. What he's really good at is getting rid of the ball. I talked to Norm.
The natural second baseman, right, Clay?
Yeah, I think he's a natural catcher.
Really?
I think his release, and I think that's where he will likely get to play at the next level. And they've talked about that. He caught bullpens for Team USA last summer in trying to get ready to make that transition. I mean, you're not going to catch it at Arkansas this year. There wasn't any use in doing that.
Yeah.
Ryder is those 2 guys, Cam and Ryder, have played in all but 1 game. They're the only 2 that are even close to that. and you weren't going to catch any this year, so it would be a waste of time to do that. Guess who his coach was for Team USA when he was working bullpens and batting practice?
Oh,
Ryder Helfrich.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ryder was the catcher for Team USA. So that's my Cam Koziel talk for today.
Well, it's certainly welcome here. Cam Koziel, I mean, even despite all the stuff that you said about just how well he's done here in his 1 year plus at Arkansas, he's going to be in the hearts of Razorback fans for a long time, just being as personable as he has been, wrangling all those different animals and wildlife out there at Lake Norm and in the middle of photo shoots and everything. I think he's got a Mark Zona type of career coming after he decides to hang up the cleats and bat and the glove. I think he's going to be, he does some stuff with his Camden Koziel Outdoors YouTube channel that is just absolutely entertaining, and he's got a knack for not only doing great things on the baseball field, but off of it as well. We're going to break right here on halftime and come back in just a minute to wrap up hour number one. Want to remind you that we are brought to you today by BetSaracen.com. BetSaracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app, and for those who like to make a little wager on their favorite sporting event, BetSaracen is as close as your cell phone, which is probably in your hands right now. If you want to follow the odds, favorites, and underdogs, you need to get on the BetSaracen app. They have the most accurate and up-to-date sports wagering info, and it's all found on the BetSaracen app. It's simple. Just go to the App Store and download BetSaracen or go to BetSaracen.com and be sure to check out the really cool How to Play video featuring Jancy Sheets, and be sure to remember that it's always bet with BetSaracen. Back in just a minute to wrap up hour number two of halftime right after this.
Black running. Black, the thing's some black magic. Time out Milwaukee.
This is halftime.
I mean, he's not a catcher, but he can.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the Mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to upgrade your home. If your garage door needs repair or you're ready for a new look, call Precision Garage Door. From broken springs and openers to brand new doors, they provide expert service and professional installation. Fully licensed and insured, with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers, and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call 844-PDS-DOOR or visit PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Precision Garage Door, voted the best in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
When your drains back up and your toilet does too, don't panic, don't stress, you know what to do. Call the crew that's local, honest, and knows what to do. Blockbusters get the job done so you don't have to. You say you want it fixed good, you want the best. Call Virgil and the boys, let them handle the rest. With the way they be fixing everything like masters, I be calling on my boys at Blockbusters.
Busters, when your pipes act up, you can count on us to show up.
Call Clogbusters in Van Buren at 479-259-8121.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful. Not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Brace yourself. May Mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
Oh, it's Blue Monday. Got to work, better sleep all day. Here comes Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday. I'm so tired, ain't got no time to play. Here comes Wednesday. I need to myself. I got all to
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
And that is how. Oh, we're 45 seconds away. I thought you nailed it, Unit. It was going to be the perfect segment. Anywho, we'll do it anyway. So back halftime for 48 seconds, and then we'll get to the top of the hour. If you guys want to get in with us, please do 877-377-6963. Myself, the Unit on the boards, 45 with me, and also Fisherman Clay Henry. Clay, 37 years ago today, Roadhouse came out. That's why I just played that song. Roadhouse, good movie, not good movie? No wrong answer.
I'd say it was in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, come see, come saw.
It's not bad, but it wasn't great.
Not even the
Did
best.
Christian
Swayze.
watch the A Bridge Too Far? Did you do homework?
I think he watched Barbarella.
No, that was the previous week.
Oh.
I didn't do my
Well,
homework.
we had new teachers and new assignments.
Yeah,
I think he's
But you're going to
sliding.
like A Bridge Too
Man.
Far. You're going to be fascinated by it.
Okay. I will watch it.
Don't do it as homework. Do it because you want to.
Okay, I will do it.
That's
It's-
Bridge
it's-
Too
Do
Far.
it because you want to, not
That is-
because I made you.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
And if you
good.
don't want to, you don't have to.
No, that's our next for Flyway Brewing. That's our next.
But I mean,
step.
it's like if you don't do it, I'm just going to give you a D. I mean, I'll pass you anyway.
I'm going to do it.
That's Bridge Too Far, not Bridge on the River Kwai. That's a totally different movie. It's not
Well,
the same
I
thing.
didn't say a bridge too far is not Bridge on the River Kwai.
I was just joking with you. All right, back on halftime here to wrap it up. Hour number 3 coming up in just a minute. Stay tuned. ESPN Arkansas. Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Clay Hayes, along with Christian Johnson. Just a second.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Limbird and the Limbird Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust a team that delivers results. Go to LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
It's Kubota Orange Day sales event at Gray Brothers in Fort Smith and Poto. Whenever you're ready, we're ready with Kubota equipment in stock. Hay equipment to zero-turn mowers and Kubota tractors. From the small subcompact DX up to the large Kubota M7 cab tractor and everything in between. Why wait? When at Gray Brothers, it's in stock and on sale. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a limit.
Auto Park has the best used cars in town. We take more trades than anyone. One look at the variety and quality of our selection proves it. All makes and models. One-owner trades, corporate leases, executive demos. Get top dollar for your trade. Keep the cash or use it to upgrade. Possibly lower your payment. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, Orr Auto Park is the place to look. Go to OrAutoPark.com to find your next vehicle.
You'll always get more at Orr.
Okay, team. Huddle up.
Why are you dressed like a hockey player?
Because America's energy security is on thin ice. We're facing an overburdened electric grid, rising fuel costs, and severe weather. But here's your power play. Propane. It's affordable, abundant, safe. Propane is reliable energy, even when the grid isn't. Advantage Propane.
Learn more at propane.com/powerplay.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Some of these storms could be strong to severe. Active weather will remain in place tonight and overnight, low in the low to mid 60s. A chance of rain and a few rumbles of thunder on Wednesday with a high into the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that could respect you.
Live from the Busch Lights Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
From the bottom of my
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Vintage Matt Jones. Cinderella story's over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
All right, back. Halftime moving right along. Christian Johnson on the board, Colton Little with us, and Fisherman Clay Henry as well. I know we have some soccer fans in here, and they just might not be in the room. You have Ted Lasso coming out pretty soon in August, but we are Michael Jordan days away from the World Cup getting started here in the States. Rosters are coming out. Argentina had their roster out. No Messi. It's going to be a very interesting World Cup. Clay, do you have a team? So my team's the Italians. I always root for the Italians because my favorite player, Andrea Pirlo, was Italian. But I do like Brazil. You like Spain. There's other teams. I like England. Is there a team you'll be rooting for when the World Cup comes to the States?
Yeah, excluding USA, obviously.
Always rooting for USA. Yeah.
True so I know what's going to happen. Sarah, my daughter Sarah and I, we've got tickets and we've got room at the Westin in Chicago.
Nice.
For 2 nights, and I think 2 nights. We'll probably stay somewhere on the way up. But we're going up to see USA versus Germany June 6th, in the last friendly before the World Cup. And they're going to be playing their A teams. They're going to be playing their starters for more than a half probably, trying to get some cohesiveness and some continuity built before they get into their bracket. So having said that, and one of my neighbors was a goalie for one of the top professional teams in Germany. He developed this subdivision that I live in, and he's here now. He usually comes in for 4 or 5 months a year, and we've been talking about the German squad. I probably will pull for them just because I will have gone and seen them, and you can't ever go wrong with picking them to do well in the World Cup. That's one of the the 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that always has a chance to win.
Rudiger is a center back for Germany, and for those
he's a stud.
That's what Troy Polamalu is. He's one of the best center backs. I like Kai Havertz. He's a center forward there, kind of plays that false nine for Germany as well. The team that was kind of surprising me a little bit, that's always got just as much talent as anybody, is Brazil, and they're kind of flying under the radar right now. You expect anything out of Brazil in this World Cup?
So you don't really know those guys until you see them, and what they do with their youth program is so good in their development stage. So you can have a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds that haven't made their mark, say in the Premier League or in
playing
Germany.
For Real Madrid, it seems like.
Yeah, they're not quite there, but you'd take them all. I mean, they would all be starters for the U.S. national team, and they will be big, fast, and have explosive skills.
Yeah, they got a guy named Vinny Jr. on the left wing that
he can score goals,
oh,
can he?
he can get it done.
Yeah.
So I'm
But
looking
I mean,
forward.
France is going to be there. I would be surprised.
France is their third team would be the U.S. men's national team. There's no question about it.
They will toy with you.
Lamine Yamal is a teenager for Spain, and he's probably about the third best player in the world as a teenager. So yeah, Spain, France, those are some of your favorites. But that concludes our soccer portion of the show today. But I just had to. 23 days and the World Cup's going to be.
I'm fired up, and I mean,
am too.
I know there'll be a lot of soccer talk on that trip to Chicago, and we've got I think 12 rows up in the end zone, right behind a goal.
Nice.
In Soldier Field. Sarah bought the tickets. I think they were like $140.
That's a steal. They're expensive right now.
Yeah, but when you think about what the tickets would cost for the World Cup, those same tickets.
It's up 800% from the last World
would
Cup.
Be
the last thing I saw.
would be several $1,000s, and for 140. We're going to have a great experience. We're going to get spend a couple of nights in Chicago and go to Soldier Field. We're fired up, and we will. I've gone to so many soccer games to watch her and with her to watch. It'll be a good trip.
Matt, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Matt, you kind of talk about how the USA, they're kind of like a joke, more of an afterthought in this World Cup, but it is happening on home soil. And when I've heard you talk about this in the past, it's kind of been like there's just not a lot of integration in the youth that people can't really be priced out of too easily when it comes to soccer. That in the other countries, it starts at the very beginning as soon as they can kick a ball. Is the World Cup coming here to the United States? Is that going to make more young Americans kind of maybe gravitate towards soccer a little bit, maybe bolster up the United States roster here in a handful of years?
It's not going to hurt. The thing is, it's in your blood in different countries. It's not in our blood in America. Our bloodline, our lineage is we pick up a baseball, we throw it. We pick up a basketball, we shoot it. We pick up a football, we throw it. Every other country, whenever you travel, I've been lucky enough to travel to different countries and different parts of the world. And you're traveling and you go, I don't necessarily want to call it the ghetto, but you go places that aren't,
third world countries. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just any place. What I mean is just certain cities, like Cleveland has a ghetto and affluent part. That's all I'm saying. When you go to those places like that, and when you go in America, what do you see? You see a hoop court and you see kids out there shooting a basketball. When you go to every other country, you know what you see? You see kids on the beach. You see kids with a soccer ball at their foot. That's just not, that's okay. America's not going to be good at soccer because we don't teach Barry Sanders didn't play soccer. Michael Vick didn't play. You start putting some of these guys, Darius A. Cuff Jr. didn't play soccer. Think about that dude on a soccer field. He would be unbelievable. But what I wanted to get to, back to some American sports and to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Clay, have you noticed how Coach Silverfield, when they're talking about the quarterback battle, how he always says one quarterback's name before he always says the other one's? And do you think that the coaching staff and everybody knows who the quarterback's going to be day one?
Yeah, I'll tell you who it is. It's KJ Jackson.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's close. I think he has a little bit more skill in the passing game. He's a little quicker, a little faster. AJ is kind of a big lumbering guy. I think that they covet him for certain things, like in the running game. He's got
have a package with him.
He's powerful, big, strong.
That's how Memphis beat Arkansas. They put their backup quarterback in and ran quarterback power.
Yeah, and I think that what they're going to do in their offense is going to be less confusing to the quarterback. In other words, the reads are going to be simpler. They're going to their packages will work for the quarterbacks that they're going to play, and I'm positive about where this team is headed. They need something good to happen in the month of September. Whether that would be going to play well at
beat Utah. Can't lose that Utah game.
Playing well against Georgia. Well, I just think if they play competitive in those games, that they don't get frustrated. That the season was over when they lost those two games in the Ole Miss game and the Memphis game. And then they were a no-show against Notre Dame. The season, went south because of frustrating losses. And if they can avoid that, and it's about maintaining momentum and building and having guys hold on to the rope. They let go of the rope, and immediately everybody says, fire the coach, and that's what did. I don't think that's going to happen, but you need to have something good happen in one of those games in September, Georgia or Utah, to where both the players and the fans think it's the start of something. It can't be the end of something.
Mm-hmm. I saw from Athlon Sports here recently. It's one of those. It's a talking season's coming up pretty soon. It's also anonymous coach quote season as well. And these anonymous coach quotes, they always kind of tickle me a little bit, because this could very easily just be some jilted writer somewhere that's making up a quote. Yeah, an AI quote, just pulling it into something that can be generated. But one of the things that they mentioned about Ryan Silverfield in these anonymous coach quotes was that he took a good Power 4 job at potentially what could be the wrong time. And so it's kind of like that thing, like you said, Clay, you get off to a very good start in that September. It changes the whole perspective of what your year one could be, because now in this day and age, if you kind of fail and fall on your face in year one, year two and year three, it's not always guaranteed, especially whenever it comes to money and everything like that. So
the word Clay used was momentum.
Yeah, momentum. That's absolutely right.
If you can get going, and it's maybe and even if you don't necessarily succeed the first 3-4 games of the year, if you can turn it somehow, but usually it starts early. Usually you see it. It's like, yep, they're going in the right direction. And you got to get a little momentum. You got to win a game you're not supposed to win. And I don't know if that's the Georgia game. If we won the Georgia game, I'd go back to what Coach Nutt, one of his phrases, shock the world.
Mm-hmm.
That would shock the world if the Arkansas Razorbacks beat the Georgia Bulldogs.
How about this one? Your old coach, 1998, nobody had them picked anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Alabama 42-6. What did that do? I mean, it's like they're on a roll. You know what something like that does? You add 30,000 seats to the stadium. That game changed the role for Arkansas football. It was, you'd beaten Alabama before, but not like that. And it until the Sterner fumble, that was a team that was on track to maybe win a national championship.
We had our field goal kicker against Mississippi State.
Yeah, he had this is still the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. He's got an open container in downtown Fayetteville and gets arrested. I mean, how can you do that? I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the arresting officer.
Yeah.
Pour it out. Keep on going, young man. Just keep on rolling. It's like you roll yourself on to home. And that was that cost him the Mississippi State game, not having a kicker. You can't go on the road without a kicker. You just can't. That was Todd Latterette, in case anybody's wondering. But this team, if you have something good happen, but it's if the quarterback play is represents the right way, this team has a lot of the right parts. I like the defensive line. I like the rebuild on defense. And that was the most important thing that happened. You can stay in games. You don't have to play perfect on offense if your defense doesn't just get gashed on every series. Every series they got gashed. I mean, if you're an offensive player and you go sit down and you just went 3 and out and the other team scores in 3 plays, what does that tell you? We're going to lose. And pretty soon your mind is defeated.
You don't want to have your mind defeated. You don't want to get gashed every play. And if you're running a small business right now and you feel like you're getting gashed on every play, you need to hook up and get with Modular Orange. If you run a small business and don't have a professional website yet, or you're tired of messing with those DIY website builders, maybe you're using Facebook for your website, you need to stop doing that. You need to check out Modular Orange. They're based right here in Fayetteville, and they build websites for business owners all across America and all across Arkansas. The best part, they'll write, design, build, and maintain your website for just $95 a month with no upfront upfront costs or design fees. So instead of sitting at your computer fighting with website software, you can focus on serving customers and growing your business. And with the rise of AI search like ChatGPT, Gemini, Modular Orange, Modular Orange can help make sure your business actually shows up when people are looking online. To get started, call 479-755-3043 or visit Modular Orange today. We'll wrap up halftime right here in just a minute here as we tune down the hour here, 45 minutes left. But before that, we get to talk to the king of college football, Bill King, coming up in just a minute here on halftime.
The Razorbacks are on the road to Hoover for the SEC tournament, and ESPN Arkansas will be there from the first pitch to the final out. Our exclusive coverage is brought to you by Butler Furniture and Mountain Home. All the action in Hoover is also brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV, and by Walk On Sports Bistro.
And the Hogs have won it on Turner's second home run of the year. Oh, my goodness. This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Guaranteed satisfaction for at least 4 hours a day. This is Ruskin and Zach.
How are rednecks different in Adelaide than they are, say, in Northwest Arkansas?
Okay, so redneck in Australia, the one common thread would be they all like to drive a Pontiac G8 or GTO because here they're just holding Commodores.
Pontiac's still in business? What is the Australian equivalent?
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
From sauce to dust to nuggets. Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. No, they don't come in mild. That would make like 0 cents with the name. Or the whole explosion thing we just did. New Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets. A brand new classic. Only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you are looking for. Only at Roback.com. They have brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com to check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com. RHOBACK.com. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. Roback, where action meets comfort.
David Bowie got more fame with his #1 hit titled Fame. John Lennon co-wrote and sounded some of the high notes. The last line in the first verse sums it up. Fame puts you there where things are hollow. John 12:43 tells us that many people rejected Jesus because they loved the fame of people more than the praise of God. Is it any wonder you get more fame by rejecting the name of Jesus? I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Think about it.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit could save you up to $600 off your tax bill.
So I had pain in my feet for a good 20 years.
It felt like I was standing on marbles.
Something wasn't working with my feet. Was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis.
If your feet aren't comfortable, the rest of the body suffers.
So I went into the Good Feet store and bam. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support.
You put in the arch supports, to me it was almost miraculous.
It really brought me back to being able to be me.
I can run, I can walk. This is not something that you could solve online.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
Ain't always what you think it ought to be, no. Ain't even gray, but she buries her baby.
Make sure to follow Halftime on X at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May Mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
1:20 p.m. here in the afternoon on ESPN Arkansas on Halftime. Halftime weekly lineup brought to you by Swift's Jewelry in downtown Fayetteville. Our weekly lineup features Bill King, who we'll talk to in just a minute. Swift's Jewelry specializes in custom jewelry and engagement rings designed to be as unique as your story, and they also offer expert watch repair to keep you on time. Stop by and see them in person or visit swiftsjewelry.com to learn more. Swift's Jewelry, celebrating life's biggest moments. Bill King, you can listen to him on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio from 6 to 9 in the mornings. He is the king of college football, and he has agreed to keep his post here with us on Halftime in the afternoons on Tuesdays. Bill, good afternoon. How are you doing today in Nashville, the future home of the Super Bowl in 2030?
Guys, sorry I had to up the price for my appearance, but I just had
That's
to.
okay. That's okay. The check is in the mail. It's on delay, but you will get it eventually.
So what's up, guys?
Doing good, Bill. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. Now, the Super Bowl thing, I don't like the NFL, so I couldn't tell you about that. It's good for the town, but I read what you read. I don't know anything about that.
Well, what do you know about the SEC and the Big Ten in another stalemate right now with this playoff expansion and everything? Bill, to me, I've heard a lot of sides of this. Obviously, Greg Sankey, ESPN and company, they would like to make that college football playoff expansion a little bit smaller so ESPN retains the rights. The Big Ten and obviously the Big 12, who are on Fox occasionally and NBC, they would probably like that to be expanded. Bill, the SEC versus the Big Ten is not only playing out on the gridiron, but also in the boardrooms as well. What do you make of all this? Is this just TV and money? Is that all it's about anymore, or does football have anything to do with it?
They're together when it comes to the shared money.
Yeah.
The new playoff contract kicks in this year, and it's about $1.35 billion, double what it was. And the new contract says they split 58%, which is a lot more. So they're making a lot more with the 12-teamer. The SEC doesn't want to expand to 24, but the commissioner of the SEC has kind of got a quandary because the appearance is that he's not in charge anymore. The Big Ten's in charge, and the appearance is he's following, not leading, because there was no reason for him to cave when it comes to a 9-game schedule. So he looks bad there. And if he goes along with the 24-teamer, even if deep down he believed it, he can't do it publicly. So that's a problem right there. And you're right; they're at a they're together when it comes to the money, but they're at the stalemate when it comes to the future structure of the postseason. That's a big issue. Now you got the Big Ten meeting, their spring meetings out in Los Angeles. And they're complaining because a lot of the NIL deals that they're trying to get done, along with the SEC, they feel like are getting rejected. There's over $100 million in NIL deals right now that are being held, not allowed to go through, which are primarily the Big Ten and the SEC. So they're together on that topic, too, and they're wanting to see this organization that be created, which would be the College Sports Commission. They made these guys. They hired them to do it. Now they don't like them. So we got lots of issues.
There are lots of issues all across college football. One of them also being a little bit about this, like the College Sports Commission in a way. Can that be reformed? Because they've talked out of both sides of their mouth about this occasionally on both ways. They were for it, and then eventually the College Sports Commission said, hey, we need to put a stop on this. But you really can't put too much of a stop on it, Bill, because all the haves who have been having for so long, there won't be quite such a distance between them and the have-nots. So can anything be changed between the NCAA and the CSC and all the powers that be in these Power Four conferences, or is the toothpaste out of the tube in that regard?
Tough to know what to believe because they weren't real strict for a couple of years on those NIL deals. And it's never been about name, image, likeness. It's been about paying somebody to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a big acronym lie, but I still use it too, to my detriment. But I don't know what can be done. Now, here's the other thing, and I remember Mike Sly threatening this about 6-7 years ago, but there's that floated idea from the Big Ten out of L.A. within the last 24 hours, hey, maybe we ought to just leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's saber-rattling. They've never wanted, nor has there been a movement to completely leave the NCAA. This might be one that gets us at least into a serious conversation. I've never believed any of these conversations because they're not real. That one right there, when you're talking about the money and their ability to here's the thing. Here's the big lie, guys. If you're the Big Ten and the SEC, why would you like reform? You're running the show. Mm-hmm. You have all the money. Why would you want guardrails? That's a big lie when you hear that from those folks. They don't want guardrails.
Hey, Bill, before I want to change it up a little bit. I just saw Texas Tech, their quarterback files an injunction. Percent chance that dude plays this year, and what does Texas Tech do if he doesn't play? Who would be their quarterback?
Well, in Mississippi, Trinidad Chambliss, with an Ole Miss law school judge, got cleared. Knoxville, in their situation with the Tennessee law school grad, did not get cleared. The Texas Tech judge in this case is a two-time Texas Tech grad, undergrad in law school. And there's a picture of him standing there with, mascots and stuff all over Twitter. I'm thinking he may get cleared.
And Bill, it felt like when this came out that he was coming out almost like a self-imposed bowl ban, like he was trying to beat the storm a little bit, like he. And I don't believe a lot of it too, but he's coming out to try to say, oh, my fault, I'm going to go get help, because and I thought, he's going to do that so he can say, oh, I'm sorry, be contrite, and then be able to come back and play. I kind of thought when this whole thing started that he was still going to play this year.
Well, and guys, here's the biggest note. There's probably $5 million on the line here.
Yeah.
He was expensive. If he's not able to play, he's made a disastrous financial decision.
And then I got a couple other questions for you. So we've seen Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State come in as a freshman. We saw Malachi Toney for Miami come in as a freshman. Give me some of your freshmen this year that are coming in from high school, some kids on that offensive side of the ball that you think are going to be household names by the end of the year.
Well, at Ohio State, it's Chris Henry Jr. He's a 6'6" receiver. Mm-hmm. They think he's ridiculous. And I don't know that you don't have enough room on a stat sheet to share stats with Jeremiah Smith, right? But this kid's going to be nasty. And he'll probably be better this year because of he's going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage because everybody's worried about Jeremiah Smith, and rightfully so. That's the one that stands out right now at wide receiver, more so than anybody else.
Well, we saw what Mbuka did, and we saw what Tate did, and I'm probably messing up Mbuka's last name, but we saw what playing across the side of Jeremiah Smith, both those guys get drafted. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we Arkansas fans, we remember how good the freshman Harold Perkins was. And he single-handedly beat us. Is there a guy that's on the defensive side of the ball coming in this year that's a freshman that was in high school last year that you think has a chance to be dominant?
My favorite story, because like I've told you guys, the most poorly evaluated position is cornerback.
It's the hardest.
It's not
position.
evaluated.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And so there will be a corner. Leonard Moore is the best corner. He's been the best corner in the country for 2 years at Notre Dame. He was a 3-star out of North Carolina. And he's 6'2.5". He's got length. He's got speed. He's got hips. He's got, ball skills, all those things you want. It'll be an athlete that might have been a 3-star that really played quarterback, played DB, played point guard on the basketball team, ran track or played baseball, who you really don't have a good scouting report on, who will come in and be a fantastic corner. It'll be a kid like this. There's a defensive tackle out of Savannah who Texas Tech bought. Speaking of them, Savannah, Georgia, right there, in the backyard. And he reclassified. He's 6'6", 290. He's a guy that I think will have a chance to play too. And Bama, Georgia, those teams, Texas, they always recruit so well. There's always a freshman impact player.
And then I got one more for you out of the Big Ten. USC or Michigan, which one of those schools are you given a better chance to make the college football? Well, I guess it's the money grab invitational, but USC or Michigan this year?
I'm going to say Southern Cal. They've got an experienced stat sheet stuffing quarterback. They portaled well. They're coming off the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Not that I'm suggesting true freshmen are going to run, the Big Ten, but they've got a lot of momentum. This is a big year for Lincoln Riley. I'm not saying that he gets run out of town, but they need to be borderline top 12 and or in, or they've underachieved. They've got a lot of talent.
Two more real quick, Bill, before we let you go. Bill King with us from WNSR on Nashville Sports Radio, with us every Tuesday on Halftime. Bill, Urban Meyer lost lawsuit with Jacksonville. He's still young, maybe still got a little bit left in the tank. Could you see him coming back to the college game at all? And if so, where would a good landing spot be? Because he's not taking some job at Central Michigan with the Chippewas or anything like that. I'd imagine he'd be holding out for a pretty high-profile gig somewhere.
Urban Meyer is one of the best coaches ever to pick the timing.
Yeah.
Like at Florida when he inherited Ron Zook's talent and won a national championship in 2 years. At Ohio State, he won in year 3 a national championship. Timing-wise, he's brilliant. No way his wife lets him coach again.
Yeah.
No way. No way. He's still got that health problem that's under control. It's a cyst that they can't operate on that has bothered him when he gets all hyper on the sideline. No way Shelley Meyer lets him coach again.
That's ultimately probably what's going to make that decision at the end of the day. These coaches' wives, they are the ones that have a real power. Hey, speaking of coaches' wives, let's tie it back in right here to Arkansas. And Bobby Petrino has joined Bill Belichick at North Carolina. And speaking of coaches' wives, obviously those two share an affinity for, whatnot. But Bill, just tying that back in here into Arkansas, one of the things that kind of plagued North Carolina last year was their offense was just putrid at times. Bobby Petrino obviously heralded as one of the guys in this game of college football that still knows how to get it done on the whiteboard from an X's and O's standpoint. Do you see that improving kind of where North Carolina is as a program with Bobby Petrino and Bill Belichick joining ranks, or are those two old curmudgeons just going to end up at odds with each other? How do you see things happening in Chapel Hill?
I think it will improve things, but guys, they basically hit ground zero offensively, so I don't think that's a bold statement by me. But man, he is, as much as I don't like Bob Petrino personally, he's a hell of an offensive coach, and they will be better. Quarterback play was a mess last year as well. Will they be at odds? Yeah, because they're two males. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long they can stay together in a room, but I do think on the field you have to see improvement. Now, will that be enough to compete for a 2-slot behind Miami? I doubt it.
Well, Bill, appreciate your time. As always, that's Bill King, WNSR Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, we will talk to you again with all the college football topics next Tuesday, man. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Bill.
Yep, that was Bill King. Thanks, Bill. And this is Matt Jones for Bath Makeover of Arkansas. If you're tired of climbing over that old, outdated bathtub or cleaning and maintaining that tile shower, Bath Makeover of Arkansas has the solution. They're a local Arkansas business installing American-made bathtub showers, walk-in tubs. They're the state's largest bathroom remodeler. They have a May offer going on. It's called the Spring into Savings event. They started with 50, and now they're looking for 30 homes to participate in our Spring into Savings event. 30 homeowners will receive 50% off installation of a new bathtub or shower. I mean, come on, get out of here. 50% off. That's amazing. You can also ask them about their 0% financing option for senior and military discounts. There's a bonus. You receive a $200 gas card with bathtub or shower purchase. You know, I noticed my truck used to take $70 to fill up. Now it takes $120. So I don't know. Maybe it has a bigger tank. I don't know. You can also receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with the free in-home estimate. So check it out. Bath Makeover of Arkansas. They will take care of you.
Need to make sure that you get a good shower in place at your house. I needed a shower yesterday after we were in here. The studio was a little hot. Me and Matt were in here shedding layers. It was a little bit warm, and I didn't have a very nice, comfortable Roback. Really nice moisture-wicking Roback polo. But I could have got one if I'd have used the code. Roback New Hogs Gear is here. If your Razorback closet needs an upgrade, the University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've got brand new Arkansas hoodies and polos that are selling fast. Go to Roback.com and check out their new apparel. That's Roback.com, RHOBACK, RHOBACK.com for Roback. Use the code RUSH26 for 20% off your first order. That's RUSH26 for 20% off Roback, where action meets comfort. We'll be here to wrap up the day on halftime with Clay Henry rejoining in just a minute here. Stay tuned. ESPN Arkansas halftime back in just a minute.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every day, Joe's Grill makes fresh from scratch salsas, queso dip, and guacamole with crispy warm chips to start your meal. Plus fajitas, enchiladas, tacos, burritos, and more that will make your experience one you won't forget. Great Tex-Mex and even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
It's Mr. Big Time Capital One Bank guy.
Mom, please.
Look at this Capital One Cafe. I just might move in.
Or just drop by. Capital One Cafes are open 7 days a week.
I could put my spoon collection right here by the ATM. Yes.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Mom.
I never kid about the spoon collection, son. Oh, hey, what's that thing you always say?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
No, the other one.
What's in your wallet?
Oh, that's my boy.
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguy for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1 million. Why should you care? Because this $1 million+ prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores today. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or take 2.9% financing for up to 72 months. Lease the all-new 2026 GMC EV Sierra for as low as $600 a month with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I didn't mind. It's not my good. It's not my time to wonder why everything alright. Everything's great. Now you're here. Now you're away. I don't want this. Remember that. I'll never forget.
You're listening to Halftime with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Let's get back to the show with Matt Jones, Colton Little, and Christian Johnston.
Back here on Halftime, about 20 minutes till the top of the hour. We'll hand the microphones over to Ruskin and Zach here on ESPN Arkansas. You can call us or text us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. The number is 877-377-6963. Got a caller on there right now. We mentioned Texas earlier, and of course his ears perked up like a bat signal. Brian in Ozark has given us a call here. Brian, good afternoon. How you doing, my man? What's up?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Doing good, Brian. What's on your mind this afternoon, brother?
Well, so I was listening to a lot of what Clay was saying, and I mean, I've read a lot about Arkansas football and Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I mean, I think the national media, I don't even know who KJ Jackson or the other kids from Arkansas is. 'Cause, I mean, they're ranked like 50 and 60 something overall, and as a college quarterback. So they're not right now. They're not really too highly rated. But my question is, you know, I went up there and I watched a spring game, and I think I've heard, I don't know if it was you or somebody say that, you know, even Arkansas' defense really doesn't look, they look slow. So my question is, when you put a player on the field like Cam Coleman that has elite burning speed, it's going to take 3 defenders to catch that guy. I mean, I'm just wondering, is that what you all were seeing? And I'll just hang up and listen, because, I mean, when you got Coleman on one side and Ronnie Wingo on the other side, I don't know how they're going to stop that team. But I'll just hang up and listen to y'all's opinion. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that question that was muddled up with just this great, you know, glazing of Texas. That's super awesome. Appreciate that here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Look, there's no question the Razorbacks needed to shore up the defense. And from what I saw from the spring game, Clay, I don't know if you got to take in any of that a couple of weekends ago. From what I saw, from what I saw from the spring game, Clay, I echoed what you probably had seen in practice leading up to that, and what I think, you know, that there's a handful of people in the Arkansas media have said, which is that I can't really speak too much for the defensive backs. They did go out and spend a pretty penny in the portal, getting guys like Lakai Rowland and Joker Johnson from Maryland and Tulane, respectively. Those are guys that were rated pretty highly coming out of the portal. But the one thing I think they're going to get a lot better at, Clay, and you mentioned this earlier, they look like they've got a solid 2-deep unit, not just 2 guys, but 2-deep unit for all across the defensive line. Quincy Rhodes Jr. obviously is going to be your guy that's going to get after the quarterback on the edge, but really in the middle, that's kind of where you got gash at times, like you said a little bit, Clay. So I think they'll be better there. As for if they can contain Cam Coleman and Wingo, who Brian wrongly named, I believe. But
yeah, Brian,
go ahead.
Brian may be the dumbest person that I've ever heard on the radio. For him to come on the show and say, as a Texas fan, that he went to watch the Arkansas spring game.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, did he pay the $10, or did he put his name in for an email? I mean, I don't really care what he saw or what he thinks, because I don't think he knows anything about football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a derelict. And go look that word up, Brian.
Real quick.
Your picture is there in the dictionary besides derelict. And I don't really want to spend a lot of time discussing what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how you stop a great wide receiver is you put the quarterback on its back.
Yeah.
And Texas had trouble with their offensive line last year. Maybe they fixed it. I don't really care. And he calls in here. The derelict calls in here and wants to talk about Texas football. I don't care.
Nobody cares, and every time he calls Clay, we get 100 people in here that wants to say
just
nobody wants to
remember,
hear from Brian. Yeah,
take Mr. Webster and turn a few pages, into the D's. You don't have to go very far, and when you get to derelict, there will be, circles and arrows pointing to his face.
Oh, that's true. Well, if you want to call us here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline and give us some actually good insight, maybe a Razorback take here, we'd appreciate that. 877-377-6963. Like I said, I know everybody gets tired of hearing what is just a poor man's John Ratzenberger impression. It's just not great. All righty here. We're back here on halftime. Just a little bit left here before we wrap it up. I do want to stick with the college football theme here. Matt, obviously jump in, talk a little bit about this. Clay, they wrapped up the All-In Road Show last night in a hotbed for not only recruiting, but also alumni down there at the Star, part of Jerry's World, that big empire down there for the Dallas Cowboys. And from all accounts, I heard that it went pretty well. They had a big turnout, and they have nothing left to do before the ball is snapped, Clay, but sell hope. So just kind of what are your thoughts on them going down there to Frisco, and what may come of this later on?
Anytime that they take the show on the road to the people, I think that's a good thing. I'm disappointed that after COVID that they disbanded the Razorback clubs, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's still a few that are in operation, but not because the Razorback Foundation has helped them in any way by sending speakers or, whatever. But I think that for them to go to Frisco is a good thing. I don't know what the crowd was, if there was a buzz about it or not. But I think that both John Calipari and Ryan Silverfield need to make themselves available to the masses if they're wanting to raise money. And with the NIL going, being such an important facet of what college sports is, to not take their head coaches to the people of the state of Arkansas was a major problem over the last 5 or 6 years. They made the decision when Sam Pittman was hired not to do Razorback clubs with head coaches anymore, just to do an occasional roadshow like event. Until then, I think Chad Morris did 20-something Razorback clubs. I think Sam's probably did a handful in his 6 years. So I like the idea that they're doing this. I wish that it was more widespread and that they hit more towns. But, maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe I don't.
And they just, as we go on here through talking season, a couple more months left of that, and then before we snap the ball, they've got to do a good job of selling hope. Because they don't have a lot going for them when it comes to their results. On the field here recently, and new coach, new regime, hopefully, like you said, Clay, some of the things that have bothered them in years past, just little tiny things like turnovers and penalties and things like that, it doesn't seem to be the calling card of a Ryan Silverfield team. So hopefully they can get those things shored up. And I think fans will be amazed at just how much those little things will stack up into big things, and where you're still in it at the end of a game and you don't feel like you're going to be watching the same episode on a rerun time and time again.
When Matt Jones played, I know that his coaches, David Lee and Roy Whitkey, and head coach Houston Nutt, a turnover was a devastating thing to those coaches. That that got their attention more than anything else.
They would embarrass us in front of the whole team.
I know.
Clay. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
one
saw
of
it.
those deals where you're at practice and you make a wrong read and turn the ball over. He'd be like, Zach Clark, run the field. And not one field, all 3 fields. Run around the whole. You mess up, it's bear crawl to the fence. It's it was preached.
You learn,
it was
don't you?
gospel. Protect the most precious thing out there. You know what the other team can't do if they don't have the football? They can't put any points on the board.
Yeah, and I think that was the frustrating thing for fans, is that it never seemed to get fixed. And this is what I know about coaching. What you emphasize is what you get. If you emphasize, the penalty aspect, you emphasize the turnovers, those are losing and winning plays. You lose because of that. The team that everybody talks about points scored and touchdown makers and big play makers. The team that makes the fewest mistakes wins 95% of the time. It's a proven fact. It's in the record books. You can look at turnovers and look at wins, and they correlate.
You certainly don't want to see the Razorbacks continue to be derelict in their duty to win football games. I hope I use that in the correct context.
Well,
Christian, I may have to
looked
have
it
you.
up. Yeah, derelict means you've been abandoned at home.
Christian, I'm going to have you give me for the halftime homework brought to you by Flyway Brewing Company. I'm going to have to get you to definitely give me some better uses of the word derelict. Speaking of Flyway Brewing,
Just look at the dictionary and just keep turning pages until you see Brian's picture.
It should stand out pretty good to me. You'll have a clown nose on it as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Flyway Brewing Company, they got a fantastic lunch menu. It's a great weekday lunch spot in Fayetteville, a great place to host a lunch meeting that will actually impress. Check out the Flyway Brewing Company, a fantastic lunch menu, plenty of space for private dining, and of course, it wouldn't be Flyway without the fresh beer. It's cold, crisp, and ready when the workday wraps up. And when it's time for the game, their big screens have you covered so you won't miss a minute of the action. Great food, fresh beer, and all the action coming to you at Flyway Brewing Company in Fayetteville on Zion Road. Make it your next stop. We're about to stop right here, and we'll come back and wrap up our number 3 of halftime right after this.
But we'll have fun. We'll go out there and compete at a high level, and we're excited for the fans to get a glimpse of what we're all about.
This is halftime.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Enclaves at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. That's $4,000 off and 4.9% financing for up to 84 months on this luxurious third-row SUV. Or drive the brand-new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited-time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
A friend is someone who knows where you came from. Someone who always shows up when you need them. Someone who's there for the good times and the challenging ones. With comprehensive insurance policies backed by award-winning customer service, Shelter Insurance is committed to being there when you need us most.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
It's time to get ready for the Old Fort Days Rodeo, and Jelco Outdoors, the official provider of Old Fort Days Rodeo merchandise, is ready to get you there in style. Caps, t-shirts, and other items for men, women, and children. Save on Ariat and Wrangler jeans with our buy 2 pair, get 1 free deal. Cowboy hats by Ariat and Justin. Select Western boots, buy 1, get 1 free. Get ready for the Old Fort Days Rodeo at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors. Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Looking for a career with a company built to last? At Forsgren, we've been shaping the future of the River Valley since 1936. Nearly 90 years of excellence, innovation, and family-driven leadership. From sidewalks that still stand today to major infrastructure projects across the region, our legacy is built on quality and community. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Join the Forsgren legacy, where your work becomes part of something lasting. Forsgren, building the foundation of the River Valley for 4 generations. Apply now at goforsgren.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Whether you're heading to work, hauling the kids to practice, or just hitting the open road, there's one stop that makes every mile better. Jam Mart, your local family-owned home for unmatched service. From Jam and Joe's Coffee to the cleanest restrooms in town to high-quality fuel and our go-to Jam Burger baskets. We've got everything you need to keep moving. Stop by any of our locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, or Booneville. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in Arkansas.
Fill her up, please.
Brace yourself. May mayhem has exploded at the Lewis Automotive Group, and they're crushing prices like never before across all 5 locations. Lewis Automotive, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 80 years. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Alrighty. Man, what a show today. Just moving right along. The work has to get done, and we're trying to do it to the best of our ability. It's like when you're up on stage or when you call a play and something breaks down, nobody knows. You just keep on moving forward. You don't really worry about it. But we've had a fun show today. The unit running the board, as always, great job. 45, man, you just keep getting better and better each week. Good job
Sure,
today.
I'm trying. I have a good coach. Thank you.
A bridge too far.
And Fisherman Clay Henry, that's right. A bridge too far. Let's go, unit. Get your halftime homework in. Hey, we had a fun show, Clay. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Great work as always. And everybody, y'all enjoy yourself. And
Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out momentarily, too. Yeah.
Enjoyed being with you, Colton.
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate you, fellas. That's halftime.
You're no little guy.
Thank you. Thank you, Clay. I'm going to keep that one clipped, too. That's halftime on a Tuesday. Matt Jones, Colton Little, Clay Henry, as always, with us on a Tuesday and Wednesday. Ruskin and Zach taking over in just a minute here on ESPN Arkansas. Thank you for listening.